Live from WOWT, this is our First Alert 6 Weather Day.
And good afternoon, everyone. Nick Weig here with you for day 2 of 4 of First Alert Weather Days here across the metro and the rest of eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. We already have a bevy of severe thunderstorm warnings that have been posted, so let's get you right to the information at this hour. Several severe thunderstorm warnings, and I want to start over in the Red Oak area because this is an area that was hit especially hard last night. Several severe thunderstorm warnings now posted, and just getting my first look at it here, some concerning signatures in these, but let's go through the warnings first. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:45 for Adams and Taylor counties for 60-mile-an-hour winds and 1-inch diameter hail. Severe thunderstorm warning also in effect for another portion of Adams County for the same conditions until 5:30 this afternoon, so about another 10 minutes. And then the large warning, severe thunderstorm warning, this is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect now until 6 o'clock for areas of Montgomery County. 60-mile-per-hour winds and 2-inch diameter hail is possible with this storm. All right, there you see the latest information coming in. Already 6 hail reports in Nebraska and Iowa so far today. There are other storms out in western Nebraska. Those will be included in that count. But there you see that considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Montgomery County. And then also we need to head out west and show you that other considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Get that off the screen here. There we go. And we'll head over to western portions of our area and several warnings out here. We'll start with the considerable severe thunderstorm warning for, no, that's not the one. Hamilton and York County, this is a general severe thunderstorm warning until 6 o'clock. The considerable severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for portions of Merrick, Nance, Polk, and York counties for 1.5-inch diameter hail, the primary threat in this storm. That warning in effect until 6 o'clock. All right, so let's go back over to western Iowa right now because these seem to be the most prominent storms on radar, and certainly picking up some concerning signs here. Now, taking a look at Des Moines radar, one thing I'm concerned about is what looks like a third-party spike. You see this green spike? No, you can't see my mouse, so let me fix that. You see this green spike here sticking out of the storm? That could be delayed returns bouncing off of hailstones. And so, of course, the first thing I want to do is let's take a look at the hail detection in this. And yeah, that is a very prominent hail core there. Let's take a look and see how intense that is. Over 2 inches in diameter, very concerning there. So certainly some very large hail. I don't believe that is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, but that could certainly change and be upgraded. And then up by Red Oak, we have just as big hail core very near the community there. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this so you can get a better idea exactly where these hail cores are. And there you see right now, hopefully over a non-populated area northwest of Ladoga, Gravity, but folks driving on 148, this is headed your way, as well as Gus and Bushville in western Iowa. Let's zoom back out now and check out the other storm, unfortunately over by Red Oak right now. You can see that hail core really bearing down on the community right now. This community hit especially hard. Trees and power lines down by some very strong winds last night. And now a very large hail core that is likely hitting Red Oak as we speak. And unfortunately, it looks like that hail core has weakened a bit, and that is usually an indicator that that large hail has come down to the ground, and it may be, again, over the community of Red Oak, Highway 48, Highway 34 right there as well. People living in Stanton, you would be next in line for this large hail that appears to be falling, at least according to radar right now. And so those are the immediate concerns right now in western Iowa. All right, let's take a look at a loop here. We need to go through these watches as well. I want to mention those before we really get going here. So we're going to zoom in on our area and give you an idea of what we're looking at here for the area tonight. We have the severe thunderstorm watch now in effect for most of our area, actually I think all of our area in Nebraska, as well as the Council Bluffs area until 1 o'clock this morning. And then we also have a tornado watch that's in effect until 11 o'clock tonight for most of our Iowa counties until 11 o'clock tonight. Okay, so those are the two watches that are in effect as we speak. and that will be the crux of what we're focused on tonight. That doesn't mean that a tornado can't be ruled out in Nebraska, but the dynamics in western Iowa are certainly a lot better this evening for the potential for tornadic development. All right, let's, I want to see if we can get, okay, it looks like Grand Island's back online, so that's good news for tonight because we have a lot of storms out west of our area that we're also going to be keeping an eye out. Several several severe to considerable severe thunderstorm warnings now over in the Kearney area. Right now, though, obviously we're going to focus on York a little bit here. This area where this complex of thunderstorms has developed. Just taking a quick look at the velocities, not much to be concerned about there in terms of rotation, but hail remains the biggest concern, and obviously where we have that considerable severe thunderstorm warning, that is where the greatest potential for hail exists right now. So Osceola, you are in the path of this hail core right now. Sweet Home, Stromsburg, also in the path of this hail core. We'll take a quick look at this and see what we're getting. 1.5 inch diameter hail detected. Not as potent at the moment as in western Iowa, but again, these storms that really get rooted in the atmosphere tend to have a pattern of cycling. And so we'll see them produce very large hail. The hail core will collapse, and we'll see big gusts of wind, and those large hailstones fall to the ground, and then they can regenerate and re-energize as the storm continues to tap in some extremely volatile air over us right now. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued. This new severe thunderstorm warning, we'll get you the information right now. A little bit of an odd shape to this. That's just because it's falling in between some different Weather Service offices. This is from the Weather Service in Omaha here. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for portions of Montgomery and Pottawatomie County in southwest Iowa. This does include the community of Elliott. This is for a rapidly developing severe thunderstorm moving northeast at just 15 miles per hour. It is located near Elliott, or 7 miles north of Red Oak. So this is another cell in this complex that has rapidly begun to develop. Right now, the primary threat for severe weather is hail upwards of 1 inch in diameter. So severe thunderstorm warning until 6:15 for portions of Montgomery and southeastern Pottawatomie County. I do want to stress that this is just for a small portion of Pottawatomie County. This does not include the Council Bluffs area at this time, as these storms are well to the east of Council Bluffs and Oakland. Again, these storms are moving to the northeast at just 15 miles per hour. So a secondary concern with these storms obviously is going to be some heavy rainfall that could produce some localized flash flooding. Again, this is an area very conducive to the production of rotation and tornadoes. As we're kind of bouncing in between radar sites here, we're getting some indications of some broad rotation near Highway 148, near the Gravity area in southwest Iowa. So this bears some watching as we continue to move through the next few minutes here to see if more organized rotation is detected. Unfortunately, this is also in between both the Omaha and the Des Moines radar sites, so we're just kind of taking a look at both of them, and they're kind of agreeing with one another. The locations are a little bit different, but again, getting some broad rotation on the backside of that storm near Gravity. So certainly the Weather Service is going to be relying on storm spotters in that area for any information they can provide. Just checking the latest from the National Weather Service here in Omaha. There is a storm chaser in the Stanton area that's reporting some rotation, but again saying it's very, very broad at this time, no real organization. Just want to zoom back in here on this area. This is where we've been seeing the bulk of the rotation so far, but again, very broad, nothing that is indicating any immediate concerns at this time. That report coming in just about 3 minutes ago. So a rapidly developing situation here this afternoon. Just want to get you up to speed on what we're looking at here. These are the severe thunderstorm warnings that we're seeing in southwest Iowa. These are raising a little bit more concern because these are the ones that we expect to rotate. And as you can see, the report that we got from a storm chaser 3 miles southwest of Stanton, so that would be obviously, it's a few minutes old, that report. They're monitoring this rotation right here on the eastern edge of Red Oak. Says they're seeing the rotation, but that there's, quote, no real organization. So the good news is we do not believe that there is any immediate concern for a developing tornado here. But these areas of rotation, and another one here, that are going to have to be very closely watched as the conditions for tornadic development are especially stronger in the southwest Iowa area. Here in Nebraska, an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out, but the primary threat here over the next couple of hours is likely to be large hail. And then later this evening, with more storms developing in western Nebraska, we could experience another round of severe weather that would primarily be a strong wind event. There you see the loop for the last hour here, as well as those watches and warnings that have been issued. Very slow movement on these storms in southwest Iowa as they're kind of hugged along a boundary there. They're just moving at about 15 miles per hour, so a real good opportunity to get rooted into the energy at the surface and really develop some strong signatures in those. Back out in the western portion of our area, we do have those severe thunderstorm warnings that have been posted just on the western edge of the First Alert 6 viewing area east of Grand Island. Those continue to trend north-northeast and have been threatening to produce some large hail, the primary threat with those. As we go ahead and move to the west here, I want to show you what's happening out to our west. And basically, this is a line. From this boundary, just north of this line, you're seeing storms just fire up throughout the state of Nebraska. And real close to that I-80 corridor is the real problem right now. And then stretching all the way into Iowa. So this is where we're going to see this continued development over the next hour or two. And then we're going to have to monitor and see if any of these storms can become a little bit more isolated. That's when we get more concerned about the potential for some tornadic development. Now, again, a tornado cannot be ruled out here in Nebraska. The National Weather Service believes large hail and then strong damaging winds are going to be the primary threat here. There is a greater threat for tornadic development out in southwest Iowa, and so that's why a tornado watch has been issued there. That's where the chasers are focusing on tonight. And that is where we're already seeing some signs of broad rotation, but nothing indicating that a tornado is imminent. So that's why we have not seen a tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service in Omaha or Des Moines. There you see at the top left of your screen, those hail reports continue to pile up, already nearly a dozen so far, and we have a long way to go tonight. This could be a very late night, early morning event across the states of Nebraska and Iowa, and this is just round 2 of 4 that we expect to continue with another round of severe weather possible tomorrow night and then yet another on Monday afternoon. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take myself off the screen here so you can see the entire loop, zoom this out just a little bit, and then I am going to see if we can get a look at what's going on any of the cameras along I-80 here, if we can get a view of any of these thunderstorms here in Nebraska. Again, I want to thank everyone who's joining us on our 24/7 streaming channel, as well as on our website and on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, you name it, we're there. We'll be bringing you live coverage throughout the evening tonight as these storms continue to trek across Nebraska and Iowa. We're monitoring primary threats right now for very large hail and some possible isolated tornadoes, especially in southwest Iowa. There could also be some strong winds, but right now it looks like the wind threat will hold off, but we could see that threat increase later this evening as these storms continue to move from the west to east. Okay, so let's take a look here. We're going to try and see if we can find a camera near one of these storms. And right now, I'm going to try and see if we can hone in on this one down here. This is very near the York area, so we're gonna take a peek from York and see if any of these DOT cameras are pointed in a good direction. Sometimes especially when there's thunderstorms happening in the area, the cameras don't necessarily want to cooperate too well with us, but we'll give them a shot here and see what we can find. Not seeing much on the cameras just yet, but we're still looking. Going to move over to the camera near Henderson now, where it looks like there's certainly getting some rain in that area. Okay, let's see if we can get this camera up and running. All right, so this is the Nebraska DOT camera along Interstate 80. This is near Henderson, so southwest of York. You can see the ominous skies in the background. Right now it just looks like there's rain falling in that area, not really making out any hail. But this is where a very strong thunderstorm is developed or has developed and is pushing through that area. So we're going to continue to watch this camera and others as this situation continues to unfold across our area. Okay, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued in southwest Iowa. This is east of Red Oak. This will include the community of Quincy. Again, this is just a general severe thunderstorm, but not a considerable one at this time. So the primary threats should be 1-inch diameter hail, 1.5-inch diameter hail, I should say, with this new severe thunderstorm warning, and wind gusts of upwards of 60 miles per hour. This new severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Adair, Adams, and Cass counties until 6:15 this evening. There you see it scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for Adair, Adams, and Cass County, including the cities of Carbon, Call, Corning, and Quincy, for the threat of hail upwards of the size of 1.5 inches in diameter and wind gusts upwards of 60 miles an hour, now in effect until 6:15 this evening. So a very large cluster of severe thunderstorms with this complex that's really grown in intensity here over in southwest Iowa. Some pretty strong hail signatures at times, but we're also trying to keep an eye on the velocity scans. And right now we're looking at the Des Moines radar. If we zoom a little this way, we'll be looking at the Omaha radar, and so it's right in between the two beams. But again, we're seeing several areas, and this is what they're concerned about, of broad rotation. Where the winds are rotating and the radar's detecting them moving in different directions. And this is certainly the concern right now, is if any of these areas of rotation, there's a much smaller one here that storm chasers have been keeping an eye on, another one here as well. Very broad areas of rotation, but as the colors get brighter, the winds pick up, and that circulation gets tighter. That is where we're concerned that we could see potential for a tornado to develop. Right now, this is certainly some stronger winds north of the Bedford area. And so we're going to be keeping our eye on all of this tonight as these storms continue to push off. These storms in southwest Iowa are moving to the east-northeast at just 15 miles per hour. Let's take you out back now to I-80 southwest of York. This is near Henderson, where a severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect. This is where we're keeping an eye out for any possible hail. Right now you see traffic there moving okay, considering the heavy rain and the lightning that's hitting that area right now. And again, this is near the Henderson area, near York. Let's go ahead and take you there. We're going to get an updated scan here on this storm. And right now, right where that camera is where we're expecting a hail core nearby. We're not seeing anything significant on camera, but this is going to be another one of those situations where this is very distant from the radar sites. And right now the hail core looks like it has weakened considerably. That's the good news. Hopefully it can stay that way, especially on a highly traveled area like Interstate 80 here in Nebraska. We don't want to see an untold number of cars getting pelted with all of that hail. So again, this is a live picture from Interstate 80 near Henderson, southwest of York, and we're keeping an eye out there for any potential hail that could be falling in that area. I know a lot of you have been in the chat asking questions about what's going to happen for your area. I'll try and keep up with everybody here, but basically we've got a lot of activity going on right now, and just a lot that we're keeping an eye out for. Did just get a report. Lisa on Facebook says that Red Oak got P'd a golf ball-sized hail. I'm very, very sorry, Lisa. I know you guys dealt with quite a bit last night as well, and unfortunately another round this evening. Okay, we have another new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued. This severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect. I believe this is north of York. Let's go ahead and get the information as this has just been issued. Yes, it is York County. You see it there on the bottom of your screen, the new severe thunderstorm warning. Now in effect, no, this is a separate one. So we do have multiple warnings being issued now. This is a new one for Platte County that will be in effect until 6:30. This is primarily for 1-inch diameter hail. Again, severe thunderstorm warning now in effect until 6:30 for Platte County in Nebraska. Let's go ahead and zoom out here and I don't see that unless it may have just been an upgrade to this warning, because it looks like we do have a considerable thunderstorm warning here. Considerable severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 6 o'clock for areas of Merrick, Nance, and Polk counties. It looks like York County. Now, this is not a new severe thunderstorm warning. This has been in effect for a while now until 6 o'clock. Those are the warnings that we're seeing on the western side of our viewing area. Further to the west, a whole host of thunderstorms have fired up west of Grand Island, and let's take you out and show you what we're talking about here. I'm gonna go ahead and so there is the overall complex rolling through Colorado, Nebraska, and Iowa, and actually into Missouri as well. And so we're expecting storms all throughout Nebraska to light up over the next several hours. Primary threat being large hail, and at times very large hail. Large hail also a concern in southwest Iowa. As you saw, one of our viewers in Red Oak said they saw up to golf ball-sized hail in Red Oak. That is also an area that's a little bit more conducive for rotation, and so that's why a tornado watch is in effect for that area until 11 o'clock tonight. The severe thunderstorm watch for our area here in Nebraska is in effect until 1 o'clock in the morning, and that is because while we could see some showers and thunderstorms over the next several hours, there could be an additional round much later tonight. The primary threat again tonight, or in the next few hours, is going to be large hail with some isolated tornadoes. As we move into the late night, early morning hours, that threat is going to transition to a strong damaging wind event. And so that is what we have to watch out for. And this looks to be a very long night for us all indeed, as we push through Saturday night and into your Sunday morning. All right, let's go back to live first alert radar here and take a closer look at some of these storms. You can see our cluster of severe thunderstorm warnings in southwest Iowa. We've been a little concerned about rotation with these so far. A lot of rotation, but very broad or weak or both at this point. We are seeing some pockets of rotation, but nothing to suggest that a tornado is imminent. Just some broad rotation within these storms that are trying to evolve into supercells, but that can be hard to do at times when there's a cluster of them all kind of fighting for that energy together. Now back to the west here, we have more storms on the western side of our viewing area. Let's go back and take a look at those right now. And we have that considerable severe thunderstorm warning you see west of Osceola for the potential for a large hail. We also have the potential for large hail down by York. 1-inch diameter hail possible here. 1.5-inch diameter hail possible near Osceola. We do have an update here, as you see on the bottom of your screen. Let me see if I can find that information for you. We do have a considerable thunderstorm warning now for Montgomery County. I believe that is this one. That's Taylor. There we go. I'll get my county straight at some point here, folks. Montgomery County, this has been upgraded to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning until 6 o'clock this evening. Now for the potential of 1 3/4 inch hail. I believe the Weather Service got word of the hail near Red Oak. In fact, Storm Chaser near Red Oak, just southeast of Red Oak, reported 2-inch diameter hail fell. That is sizable, to say the least. About the size or a little bit bigger than an egg. 2-inch diameter hail reported near Red Oak, and so that is why that warning has been upgraded to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. We'll zoom in on that area right now. And this is the storm responsible for that 2-inch diameter hail that fell near Red Oak. Right now, a pair of at least 3 hail cores actually now. These weaker ones that have triggered the considerable warning have likely weakened because they dropped all their large hail and they may be regenerating. And so I'm also very concerned about this hail core near Quincy because this looks like it is rapidly intensifying. Right now detecting hail upwards of 2 inches. And then also down in Gravity, we have a very significant hail core of over 2 inches in diameter being detected. So just a whole host of issues right now in southwest Iowa to contend with, and already getting reports of 2-inch diameter hail that has fallen near Red Oak. So that has prompted the upgrade to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning you see there at the bottom of your screen, and that will remain in effect until 6 o'clock. For everybody asking about where you live, the best thing I can tell you is for the next 2 to 4 hours, if you live in Nebraska, the primary concern is going to be large hail. We cannot rule out a very isolated tornado. We could see some strong damaging wind gusts, but the primary threat right now appears to be large hail. As we move deeper into the evening and closer to the overnight hours, we expect this to begin to transition into a strong damaging wind event. And so that could produce more widespread issues, especially after 9 o'clock tonight as these storms continue to push off to the east. We have storms stretching from Missouri to Iowa through Nebraska, all the way back to Colorado, and they will all be moving through our area over the next several hours. So if you have evening plans tonight, it doesn't look like it's going to be a washout, but if you get near any of these storms, right now, largely developing in the greater I-80 area south of the metro area, you're going to have some problems tonight. So at the very least, you need to make some backup plans for whatever you're planning to do tonight as these storms continue to push to the east at around 25 to 30 miles per hour. We do have another upgrade that I do want to get to here. We have our severe thunderstorm warning for a small portion of Pottawatomie County. Whoops, there we go. Severe thunderstorm warning has now been upgraded, as you see on the bottom of your screen, to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, again for the potential of some larger hail, 1 3/4 inch in diameter. The National Weather Service in Omaha and Des Moines really beginning to upgrade these warnings to considerable because of all of these potent hail cores that we're seeing on radar right now. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 really taking shape. And now that we've had a confirmation of 2-inch diameter hail, which fell unfortunately near Red Oak, we are getting more concerned that this is going to continue to produce some very large hail in southwest Iowa. Now up to 16 hail reports. It looks like we did receive a hail report now of 2 3/4 inches, I think further west in Nebraska. That is baseball sized. That can really do some harm. So a lot of dangerous storms out there tonight. If we head back over here, yeah, you can see some incredibly large hail cores out in central Nebraska. Take a look at this one. We'll zoom in on this one in the Armada area. This is about as potent as it gets. Right now, radar, they're estimating hail upwards of nearly 4 4 inches in diameter. Now, that's aloft in the storm. That doesn't necessarily mean it's that large hitting the ground. But if you know anybody living in this area of Nebraska, they need to seek shelter immediately. This is an extremely dangerous severe thunderstorm out in central Nebraska near the Armada area. That is a very frightening signature, to say the least. So continue to monitor all of this as these storms continue to push off to the east, northeast, kind of hugging a boundary, again, right along I-80 through most of Nebraska. We are starting to get some more storms developing further to the north we'll keep an eye on as they will eventually make it to the metro area later tonight. Then we have this other complex in southwest Iowa right now that's really taking shape, has already dropped 2-inch diameter hail, and continues to cause problems east and southeast of the Red Oak area, and also keeping an eye out for any possible rotation in that area as well. All right, we're going to take a quick break here and get an update from some of our resources, and we will be back with you here in just a moment. But until then, we'll go ahead and leave the radar up for you. Nick Weig back with you here, and as you just saw on the bottom of your screen, we have a tornado warning that has now been issued. Tornado warning for Taylor County in southwest Iowa. Let's go back now to live first alert radar, and we're going to zoom in on this new warning for you. It's a very small area, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. There you see the tornado warning that has been issued. This is right in between a couple of radar sites, and we're going to get some information on what exactly is going on down there. Nothing from the Weather Service in Omaha. I believe this is... Yes, this is from the National Weather Service in Des Moines. Tornado warning has been issued until 6:30 for Taylor County. The storm possible producing of a tornado. This is a radar indication. Was located just north of Bedford and is nearly stationary. It is not moving. This was a radar indication of rotation. A tornado has not been confirmed to be on the ground, but as you see here from the Des Moines radar, certainly getting some signs of rotation that has raised some concern. I want to kind of see if we can trip off the Omaha radar here and get another look at it. There we go. Yeah, it's really on the fringe of both radar sites, so not getting the best view, but both sites certainly indicating that there is some rotation in that area right now. So let's go back to the Des Moines radar. There you see that rotation, according to the radar, is right on top of Conway right now. So anybody in the Conway area needs to be seeking shelter immediately. You've got you've got winds rotating around this way and this way right around Conway. And so if there is a developing tornado, according to the radar, it would be right over the community of Conway. It's not the greatest signature, but this is quite a bit a ways from the radar. So the National Weather Service in Des Moines had determined that this is significant enough that they've gone ahead and issued that tornado warning for Taylor County. Now, it's a very small tornado warning, and it's right on the edge already, the eastern edge. But part of the reason for that is that this is not moving. The last radar scans have shown little to any movement of this storm. So we may see this modified a little bit as new scans come in or any motion begins. But right now, that is where the tornado warning is. And based on what I'm seeing on radar, that's the area of concern right around Conway, where we're seeing those reds and greens come together for the potential of a developing tornado. Again, this is a radar indicated tornado warning. This is being issued because it appears that the storm capable of producing a tornado may be doing just that, as that rotation there you see where the reds and greens come together with winds in one color are winds traveling away from the radar, the other color, the green, the winds traveling towards the radar. And when those come together like that, that is where we get a clear indication of rotation. We're not seeing any reports or any indication of a tornado. Well, there's a little bit there on debris detection, not necessarily indicating debris, but certainly an area of concern in that Conway area right now. But that is not necessarily showing debris. That may just be showing some of that air kind of flooding into the area. But again, as we're getting some new scans, certainly some concerning signatures that we're seeing on here. We're also, oh, that is not what we wanted. We're seeing some wind around this circulation, anywhere from about 50 to 70 miles per hour right now. Upwards of 60 miles per hour, getting some what radar is indicating what's called gate-to-gate shear. That's some very, very tight rotation, and that is likely what has prompted the National Weather Service in Des Moines to issue that severe tornado warning for portions of Taylor County. One of our viewers on YouTube says that it has been spotted by a trained spotter in gravity, and that's what prompted the warning. Let me double check that. I didn't see that. I do apologize if I missed that. Okay, we did not get that notification. The Weather Service just saying that a storm capable of producing a tornado was over gravity. And so we don't have confirmation yet of a tornado on the ground, but there was radar indication of a rotation in this storm. Again, this is over the Gravity and Conway areas of Taylor County. This is in southwest Iowa, so I know some people are asking about the metro. I understand these storms will not be moving towards Omaha. These are well to our south and east. Our concern for this evening are the storms to our west, capable of producing large hail if any of those storms reach the metro over the next few hours, and then we could see additional rounds of thunderstorms into the overnight hours here in the metro, capable of producing primarily strong damaging winds. So it could be kind of a 1-2 punch for some people here in western Iowa and eastern Nebraska. And so we do expect a pretty lengthy night of severe weather coverage for you here, as we will keep the radar on and keep updating you on the latest warnings that do come in. As always, all of the warnings in our general area are scrolling at the bottom of your screen, and then in the upper portion of your screen, you will see the storm reports that are coming in. So far, the only official reports are of hail. We are getting plenty of those. I've seen hail reports out in central Nebraska as large as baseball size. That's nearly 3 inches in diameter. Red Oak, near the Red Oak area, we saw 2-inch diameter hail about a half hour ago. That's about the size of an egg. And right now, our concern is with this storm in Taylor County that appears to show signs of some good rotation. Unfortunately, this is right in between the fringes of 2 radar sites. And so, again, this is when the National Weather Service sees these indicators, but it really comes down to what spotters on the ground are seeing. Officially, I know somebody in the comments said that there was a spotter that saw a tornado on the ground in Gravity. We have not received confirmation of that from the Weather Service. The Weather Service saying they indicated rotation over Gravity. They did not say there was a tornado on the ground, but if there is a confirmed report, we would hear that from the National Weather Service. So I appreciate the report. I genuinely hope it's not true, because that would be a terrible situation. But again, people in Gravity and Conway especially, and the greater area, need to be in their shelters immediately as we are monitoring this area of rotation. It does look like there is a broader area of rotation that has moved out or is about to move out of the warned area, so we'll have to see what the Weather Service does in Des Moines. They may have to update this here shortly, but for now, that severe tornado warning remains in effect until 6:30 for the portion of Taylor County you see there, including Conway and Gravity. As we have now passed the 6 o'clock hour here on First Alert 6, we continue to monitor a significant severe weather outbreak across Iowa and Nebraska. We have 1 tornado warning now in effect for portions of Taylor County until 6:30. There you see the area of concern that we're keeping an eye out for. We also have several thunderstorm warnings and considerable severe thunderstorm warnings across Iowa, across Nebraska, in our viewing area, particularly in eastern or southwest Iowa and eastern Nebraska. We're seeing strong thunderstorms capable of producing hail approaching 2 inches in diameter, hitting these areas as we speak. And we continue to keep an eye on that. And as we've been talking about the potential for a very long night, there you see the gravy train, as it is, from Colorado all the way through Nebraska, showers and thunderstorms, almost all severe at this point, developing. There is another isolated tornado warning here in central Nebraska. Let's see if we can take a quick peek at that. I know this isn't in our area, but obviously we want to keep an eye out for any possible tornadic development. This is wedged in between a couple of considerable severe thunderstorm warnings right now. And yeah, certainly some rotation on that storm between Amherst and Scott. This was the one near Armada that was producing some extremely large hail, and apparently still is. This is radar indicated hail, and it is measuring hail upwards of more than 2.5 inches in diameter inside the storm. And now on top of that, we're now getting indications of rotation that has triggered a tornado warning for this area. That tornado warning was issued, this is again radar indicated, so no confirmed tornado on the ground at this time, but radar indications of a tornado in between Amherst and Scott This storm is moving to the east at 10 miles per hour. These are very slow moving storms. So not only do people in these areas have to deal with the possibility of tornadoes, the possibility of large hail and strong damaging winds, but likely also dealing with some very heavy rainfall as these storms are not moving quickly. In fact, we've already seen some flash flood warnings being issued in northern Missouri as storms continue to churn through that area. Obviously, we do expect the motion of these storms to change as we move through the evening hours, but right now, as a whole, they're not really moving all that much. Let's go back now to our, let's go back to live first alert radar so we can get a better signature on this. Let's go back to our tornado warning in Taylor County right now. And just want to get an update on what the radar is seeing. And this is the Des Moines radar still showing some pretty good rotation over the Conway area right now. That would be the primary area of concern. Obviously, the radars can be a little skewed, so that tornado warning remains in effect. Okay, I see the comment on YouTube that it was storm chaser Brandon Kopic. We will see if we can get any confirmation of that here. I don't believe we have access to his stream, but if not, we will take a quick look here at his YouTube page and see what he may have found. So I'm not trying to call anybody a liar, but we have not gotten official confirmation from the National Weather Service. So we're just standing by for that. Okay, that tornado warning in effect for Taylor County until 6:30 has been canceled. The tornado warning has been canceled, so that's good news for that area. We're going to go back and take a look here and see what we can find. Just taking a look at the video from Brandon Kopic here. Unfortunately, we can't show this to you on the air. He certainly picked up what appears to be a funnel cloud. It looks like, yeah, he may have caught a very, very spin up. They were having trouble seeing any ground circulation on it. Okay. Yeah, it looks like a brief tornado did touch down. This would have been in the Gravity area. Fortunately, it does look like it was in a rural part of the area and that it touched down just briefly. This is from Storm Chaser Brandon Kopic, and feel free, all you got to do is look for him, and you can find his stream on Facebook. And if you go back about 10 or 15 minutes, you'll see that there does appear to have been a brief touchdown that may have spun up a little bit of debris in that area. But right now, at the very least, and hopefully, this was actually just south of Gravity. It did not impact the town, and that would certainly indicate that if there is any damage, it was minimal, and so certainly some good news. But it does appear, do not have confirmation on that yet from the National Weather Service. I know storm chasers like Brandon, because I've been a storm chaser myself for over 25 years. We are really good about making sure that we alert the National Weather Service and local authorities when we see anything like that. And so the Weather Service may not have put that information out just yet. But I would say almost assuredly you are correct. It looks like Brandon did catch a brief touchdown in just south of Gravity. Unfortunately, it looks like if it did cause any damage, it was extremely minimal. So again, this is another example of why storm chasers, storm spotters are vital, because This is an area where the radars don't do a good job of determining what's going on because of the distance. And when you get further from the radar site, that beam gets higher and higher in the atmosphere. And so it's much harder to see what's happening on the ground. So thanks for alerting us to that on YouTube. I do appreciate it. And so it does show you that even though there is no tornado warning in effect, we do still have a significant amount of rotation here now over the greater Conway, Malloy, and I got to zoom out here because I know we're pretty tight here. Highway 2, Highway 25 south of Clearfield. We're seeing some tightening rotation, and that is certainly an area of concern right now. We're also keeping an eye out on several other areas. Right now, the main concern is with a bevy of considerable severe thunderstorm warnings that we have in effect across the area for hail upwards of 1 3/4 inch in diameter or higher. So we are monitoring all of that right now. And again, it appears storm chaser Brandon Kopic at Kopik, I apologize if I'm saying that, Brandon, incorrectly, did catch a very brief tornado touchdown near Gravity. He is now in the Bedford area, which is where this is west of where this rotation is. So it looks like he's trying to catch up to it right now. And certainly a very concerning area of rotation there still. No tornado warning on this right now, but again, a lot of chasers are following this storm particularly right now, trying to figure out what's going on. But it does appear that there was a very brief tornado touchdown just south of Gravity about 20 minutes ago. Doesn't look like it produced a lot of major damage, but again, this is always the concern, is these brief touchdowns, especially in areas with poor coverage. You can also see near Conway right now, east of Gravity, there's another small area of rotation certainly worth watching. But again, we do want to stress there is no tornado warning at this time. And we are going to have to keep an eye on that. So let's go ahead and back out and kind of look at the big picture because we have warnings all over the place. You see several considerable, those are the bolder yellow polygons, those considerable severe thunderstorm warnings in effect across southwest Iowa, another considerable severe thunderstorm warning over the western part of our viewing area, and then a whole truckload of severe thunderstorm warnings all the way through Nebraska along I-80 and then all the way into Colorado and now about to blow into the Goodland area of Kansas. And so we'll talk about that because that's kind of where the 1-2 punch is going to come later tonight for our area. Right now, let's go ahead and take a look over in the Columbus area. I know, Kevin, I think you just said on Facebook a few minutes ago that it was raining there, so I appreciate that report. It looks like the heaviest stuff is staying to your west right now. That storm has been moving much more northerly, so that's the good news there if you're living in the Columbus area. The heaviest portion for now has remained to the west, but certainly does bear some watching. It appears this has now been downgraded to a general severe thunderstorm warning, which is also good news. For 1-inch diameter hail, not much threat of any severe or strong gusty winds approaching severe limits. Right now saying less than 50 miles per hour. Osceola also, we're keeping an eye on this storm to your south that has produced some rather large hail, and this is a relatively new one. So we're going to have to keep our eye on that. You see, we have some of these cells. We're going to zoom out here a bit. We have some of these cells that are kind of shooting off to the north. You can almost see them splitting off. And that's because we have this boundary that's draped across Nebraska at this hour. So there's a boundary right about here that's just not really moving all that much. And so you see these cells like around Stromsburg and back towards Grand Island. These cells are not really moving. And you can see the precipitation kind of blowing off of them to the north and east. And then you see in some of these cases, like west of Grand Island, you can see the cell split in half and one portion move up to the north and one just sit there. And that's kind of what we saw in the Stromsburg area. It kind of split. There you see it split, and then the split cell heading for Columbus went warned, and the one that it split off of is also remained thunderstorm warned. So a real, for lack of a better term, a real mess out there with all of these warnings as storms are just tapping into all that energy in the atmosphere this evening. Okay, we have another new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued for portions of southwest Iowa, so we want to pass along that info to you. A severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect for portions of Montgomery and Page County until 7 o'clock. This is a general severe thunderstorm warning for the threat of 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch diameter hail. And we now have a new tornado warning at that area that we were concerned about east of Bedford. A tornado warning has been issued. There you see it there in southwest Iowa for the potential of a developing tornado. At 6:12, severe thunderstorm was located along a night. Oh, that's the wrong warning. I apologize. There's the right information. This is for Ringgold and Taylor counties at 6:12 p.m. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located 5 miles south of Clearfield or 12 miles east of Bedford, moving east at just 25 miles per hour. A possible tornado and hail up to 2 inches of diameter are the primary threats. Again, this is a tornado warning. This is a radar indication that a tornado may be developing in this area. This is not confirmation of a tornado, but people in this area, especially in Malloy, Mount Ayr, and then the greater Clearfield area, you need to seek shelter immediately. This does still seem pretty broad, but again, this is far from the radar site. We're seeing the winds moving towards the radar, and we're seeing, especially like right here around Blockton, some very strong inflow winds, and these green winds are moving towards the radar. This is the radar site in Des Moines, so the radar is way up here, quite a ways away, and so these are the winds moving towards the radar, and then these right here are the winds moving away from the radar. And I apologize for my squiggly lines, but you get the idea. We'll do this a little bit better here if I pick the right tool. So these are the winds moving towards the radar. These are the winds moving away from the radar. A little bit easier to see there. And so this area where they're coming together, that is the concerning area east of Bedford that we're keeping an eye out on. There are storm chasers all over this storm right now, but I have to warn you, this is an area that is notorious for limited data. And so we're really going to have to rely on even just text reports that they send to the National Weather Service. But officially, this is a tornado warning for a possibly developing tornado. There is no confirmation right now that a tornado is on the ground, but as you can see here, the area of concern in between Clearfield and Malloy, as these storms continue to push off to the east-northeast at just about 25 miles per hour. Very, very slow. Okay, I want to thank everybody on our Facebook page, as well as Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord and Matt Surwee's pages as well. We are live streaming everywhere we can right now to bring you the very latest on this wide-scale severe weather outbreak across our area. Right now, our focus is in southwest Iowa, where a tornado warning has just been issued for... apologize, I got to get my counties straight here. Tornado warning has been issued for portions of Ringgold and Taylor County. We are monitoring this area of broad rotation. We don't have any cameras in that area, but I can tell you that we are tracking a number of storm chasers in that area that have been trying to keep up with this storm. Fortunately, it is very slow moving, and this is the area of concern near Malloy and Clearfield that has prompted the tornado warning. Now, this storm does have a history of producing a tornado. In fact, if you look at the upper left portion of your screen, we are seeing those tornado reports now finally come in. We did witness on one of the streams from the storm chasers of a brief tornado touchdown earlier, I believe southeast of Red Oak, and I'm just going to get the official reports here. So there are two confirmed tornado reports. They were both near gravity. So essentially, two separate brief tornado touchdowns near gravity. We did see video confirmation of one of those touchdowns from a storm chaser. That touchdown, fortunately, appeared to be very brief, and any damage may have just been rural and hopefully not impacting any persons or property. But two confirmed tornado touchdowns reported near gravity, and that is this is the same storm responsible for those warnings that are now in effect for the area between Malloy and Clearfield. Okay, now we have to take you back to Nebraska for the western part of the First Alert 6 viewing area here in Nebraska, as a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for one of those storms that is split off and is now shooting off to the north. This new severe thunderstorm warning includes Platte Center and Humphrey. This severe thunderstorm warning will remain in effect, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, for about another 41 minutes until 7 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm warning for Platte County. Severe thunderstorm located near Platte Center, or 7 miles northwest of Columbus, moving to the north at 25 miles per hour. The primary threat from this severe thunderstorm is half-dollar-sized hail. This is radar indicated, but anybody traveling along that Highway 81 corridor between Humphrey and Platte Center, you need to find some shelter, as the storm will be rolling through for the next 40 minutes or so and is capable of producing hail large enough to cause damage to persons or property, especially cars and windshields if you're on the road. So severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Platte County until 7 o'clock. All right, let's take this opportunity to look at the bigger picture here again, and we're going to go ahead and zoom out. So there you see our tornado warning in southwest Iowa, a whole bevy of considerable severe thunderstorm warnings, general severe thunderstorm warnings, and then we have all of this mess here in the rest of Nebraska. You can see, as we were talking about before the tornado warning was issued, we have cells that are just parked right along a boundary here that are virtually stationary right now, and then in many cases they're splitting in two, and that's the split cell is moving due north, and in every case we're seeing so far, both are remaining strong to severe. So we're continuing to monitor this trend as additional storms are now developing well north of the front. They're not severe right now, but this complex is really getting going across the state of Nebraska at this hour. Several considerable severe thunderstorm warnings. We have seen some monumental hail cores out in the North Platte area. We had a hail core there. Radar was detecting hail upwards of 4 inches in diameter. And then these stationary storms go all the way back to the Nebraska-Colorado line. And then you see in Nebraska, the storms are quickly moving to the east. And this is that 1-2 punch we're concerned about tonight. So right now, this is the larger setup. We have a tornado watch in effect with at least one tornado warned storm in southwest Iowa. That tornado watch remains in effect until 11 o'clock this evening. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings in that area, severe thunderstorm warnings in central Nebraska, west of Lincoln. All of these storms moving slowly with offshoot cells moving to the north, all capable of producing large hail. And then what we expect is as this round begins to ease off later this evening, we're going to see this transition into a west to east wind event, and we could see in many areas several rounds of severe weather beyond just storms that just seem to sit over the same area for a long period of time. So this is a wide-scale event. There are all threats of severe weather are on the table tonight. Right now here in Nebraska, the primary threat is that for large damaging hail. In southwest Iowa, hail remains the primary threat, but conditions are a little bit more conducive there for tornadic development, and that's where we have seen a couple of reported tornado touchdowns. Later tonight, all of this should transition into a wind event that will impact much of the area. That's why we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for our area of Nebraska here in the eastern part of the state until 1 o'clock in the morning, as we expect these storms to pick up speed later tonight and then transition from a hail and limited tornado threat to a strong, damaging straight-line wind event. And so that is kind of the chain of events that we're expecting here tonight. Again, there you see in Iowa and Kansas now, we do have one confirmed wind report, 20 hail reports, and 2 tornado reports. Those tornado reports coming from a cell in southwest Iowa that does remain tornado warned at this hour. We're going to go and zoom back in on that, as that is our primary concern, as it's fortunately, though, exiting our viewing area. But right now, between Clearfield and Blockton, that is the area of concern, where embedded in this radar mess is some rotation. And there you see where it is being detected right now. We're seeing these winds on the right side of the rotation growing stronger, and then the winds over here still remaining somewhat tight. So people between Clearfield and Blockton, anyone traveling along Highway 2 in this area, Benton, and ultimately Mount Air, you need to seek shelter immediately as a tornado can develop quickly within this area of rotation. We are keeping an eye out on some storm chasers in that area. There are a number of chasers on the scene. The bad news is, as we've mentioned, it's a little messy on radar right now, and unfortunately that means that this rotation appears to be significantly rain-wrapped right now. And so if there is a tornado, chances are, if it's heading your way, you're not going to see it until it's too late. So if you are in this area, it is critical to seek shelter now out of an abundance of caution, as a tornado could touch down at any moment. And right now, the entire complex appears significantly rain-wrapped, making it very difficult even for storm spotters and storm chasers to see what's going on around them right now. Again, we're monitoring storm chasers that are on the ground right now. They are along Highway 2 near the center of circulation, and they are boxed in by a lot of rain right now, as the visibility is greatly reduced in the area around this circulation. Again, no confirmed tornado on the ground at this time, but there are storm spotters and storm chasers in the area keeping a very close watch of this. Right now, though, dealing with some very difficult visibility in that area. Moving back to an area already hit, Gravity is where we have those reported tornado touchdowns, and I'm going to put this in motion because it appears that yet another cell has popped up in that area and is developing what could be a pretty decently sized hail core here. This is in the very early stages, so just beginning to develop, but we can't lose sight of the primary threat right now, which is the hail. You see a decent-sized hail core on the north side of that tornado warning. That's kind of the classic position we would expect to see a hail core in relation to rotation. Another significant hail core back towards the Holt and Gravity area again. This is an area that has already been hit pretty hard, not only this evening, but also yesterday. Red Oak experienced widespread damage during the severe thunderstorms last night, and then again hit by 2-inch diameter hail about an hour ago. So a lot of issues in southwest Iowa to contend with right now. And there's much more where that came from, as we are now dealing with severe thunderstorms on the western portion of our viewing area. So let's go back and check out some of those. I do want to remind you, though, we do have the 2 severe thunderstorm watches in effect. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 1 a.m. for most of our viewing area in Nebraska, northwest Missouri, and the Council Bluffs area. A tornado watch in effect until 11 o'clock tonight for our southwestern counties, including Red Oak, Shenandoah, and that Gravity area where that tornado touchdown has already occurred. All right, let's go back now live to First Alert Radar, and you can see the 2 complexes that we're keeping a close eye on. The tornado-warned storm now in southwest Iowa exiting our viewing area, and the ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings on the western side of our area. They're not really moving at all to the east because the storm's right along the boundary, and I'll throw this in motion for you, aren't really moving much at all, and then the storms that are shooting off to the north are heading due north. So if you've got some early evening plans here in the Omaha Metro, for now things look okay, but this is a primed atmosphere, and the other concern is we also have boundaries galore out there. We talked about this a little bit last night. We have these boundaries just all over the place floating around out there, and you can kind of make out some of them on radar. That may not be one. But you can kind of make out these boundaries on radar, and oftentimes where these boundaries come in contact with one another, you can see them touch off severe thunderstorm very quickly. We saw that last night as well, around the 10 o'clock hour. All of a sudden, all of Omaha was treated to an incredible light show as a thin line of severe thunderstorms developed just to the northwest of the metro. Fortunately, after producing some large hail in the valley area, it did quickly weaken, but an incredible light show from that spark up late last night. There you see the one tornado watch, or excuse me, tornado warning we still have in effect for our area, exiting the area right now, but still an area of concern. There you see the area of rotation west of the Benton area. We do have storm chasers in that area. Several storm chasers tracking the storm, not picking up anything of immediate concern, although they are running into the fact that this is now very heavily rain wrapped, and so their ability to see the area around them is getting more and more difficult. But there are storm chasers right in this area near Benton right now that we're keeping eyes on, and they are fortunately not seeing anything of immediate concern right now, but for those in the area, that's no excuse not to seek shelter, because visibility is extremely poor right now. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us on our social media channels, on our 24/7 weather channel. We are bringing you live extended severe weather coverage here on streaming, so that we can continue to provide you information as new information comes into us at this hour. We're monitoring several areas, several clusters of severe thunderstorms tonight. There you see we've been focusing in on that tornado warning in southwest Iowa, other tornado warnings in northern Missouri, a whole host of severe thunderstorm warnings from southwest Iowa to the western part of our viewing area, all the way back to central Nebraska, western Nebraska, upwards into Colorado. This complex is going to be moving across Nebraska all night tonight, and we could see several rounds of severe thunderstorms throughout the area. You do see that updated warning now scrolling at the bottom of your screen for Ringgold County. I do want to zoom in on this just a second. This is not in our viewing area, but this is that area we've been concerned about. Let's switch over to live radar now and get a better look at this storm. This is the area that we've been monitoring rotation as it's now finally exiting our area, and they're going to continue this warning until 7 o'clock, I believe. And that new scan is very concerning, actually. But a tornado warning does continue for this area, for Ringgold County, until 7 o'clock this evening. So about another half hour. This is Benton, Mount Ayr are the primary concerning areas. There you see the area of rotation just about to exit our viewing area. That's the good news, but still a very strong area of rotation, and we are keeping an eye on storm chasers in that area that are beginning to get out of the rain a little bit to see if they are seeing any signs of a developing tornado, and so far we are not seeing that. So that is certainly good news. But again, the conditions are ripe, and based on what we're seeing on radar, a tornado could touch down at any moment in this area. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that, but let's go back to Nebraska here. And again, we're going to show you the wide angle of this, as it is a nice line of severe thunderstorm after severe thunderstorm after severe thunderstorm across Nebraska. And in many cases, these have not moved much at all. And so a secondary threat we're going to have to be concerned about tonight is some localized flooding. The good news is a lot of these areas really need the rain, but it is going to be, in many cases, feast or famine. If you get under one of these cells, you're going to see a lot of rain, most likely. But again, they are really isolated where they're sitting still. But anybody in these areas will certainly be grateful for the rain that falls as part of these. Unfortunately, we have to contend with the severe aspect of these thunderstorms. Back now to live first alert radar, and let's go back in on those storms in the western part of our area between York and Columbus, where we do still have those severe thunderstorm warnings that remain in effect for the potential of large hail and strong damaging winds. We're getting a little bit of a stronger signature up here near Columbus and Humphrey, so let's go ahead and take a look at this now. This is one of those storms that split off of the line and then began tracking due north at about 25 miles per hour. And certainly a concerning sign there, as radar is indicating a hail core now approaching 2 inches in diameter. Now that's the hail that's aloft in the storm that it's detecting, but it's an indicator that it is producing large hailstones. And if we see weakening of this hail core, you'd say, well, that's good news. Well, the bad news is the weakening of the hail core is caused by the hail core collapsing and the larger hailstones coming down to the ground. So that is a significant concern there, as that hail core has strengthened quite a bit recently, and folks in that area should seek shelter. And if you have any sensitive items outside or any vehicles that you can get to shelter quickly, you need to do so, as that is a rather potent hail core that we're getting on radar right now. So again, that severe thunderstorm warning continues for that area until 7 o'clock this evening. That is just one of several areas we've been keeping an eye on. But this is, I'm going to roll this back, and you can see just how quickly these hail cores can kind of get their act together, and really along the leading edge there. So just northeast of Platte Center, was going to check and see. I'm kind of bouncing around between windows here quite a bit. No updated information from the National Weather Service on this storm, other than they did issue a warning for the potential of 1 1/4 inch hail. So anyone in that area where you see the purples and then the whites now showing up on the radar image, that is where the radar is indicating a hail core capable of producing some pretty large hail. Zooming back out now to kind of see the bigger picture, as it were, right now, you can see another severe thunderstorm warning here on the far western edge of our viewing area here. This is for Polk and York County. Osceola and Stromsburg taking the brunt of it again with this cell. 1 1/4 inch hail, the primary threat. These storms hugging the boundary are really not moving. Officially, this storm is moving to the east at 5 miles per hour. These storms are not moving, but they continue to bubble up. They continue to cause problems in these areas, and then they essentially give birth to another severe thunderstorm that shoots off to the north, and that's what we're seeing north of Columbus now, where we see another potent hail core. One bit of good news, at least in the immediate future, is the muddled mess out here in Nebraska. We're seeing a lot of these thunderstorms fall below severe limits, with the exception of those still along the boundary. A very large thunderstorm complex near Kearney, another one between Lexington and North Platte, right along I-80, unfortunately. And the train of cells continues to the west out into Kansas and Colorado. But the good news is, in many cases, these storms are beginning to lose intensity a little bit, especially when they move away from the boundary. Now, of course, the exception to that rule is our thunderstorm warning here in our area, and I believe this has just been upgraded. Yes, it has. This has been upgraded to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. We were talking about the hail core in this. They are now advising Creston has the potential of seeing 1 3/4 inch hail. So a considerable severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Platte County until 7 o'clock this evening. Golf ball sized hail is the primary threat. This storm has been moving to the north at about 25 miles per hour. At last report, so just about 2 minutes ago, severe thunderstorm was located 6 miles northeast of Platte Center, or 12 miles north of Columbus, and again, moving to the north at 25 miles per hour. Anybody in the path of this storm, particularly in the Creston area, need to seek shelter immediately. You don't have much time to get any of your vehicles or any other sensitive items outside in before this storm hits. And this storm is showing strong indications of producing some large hail. We'll switch over to the hail scan again now. Doesn't look as strong as it was a little earlier. Well, actually, I'm going to take that back now that we zoom in on it. Yeah, actually, it has weakened a little bit, but unfortunately, that can be a sign sometimes that some of that larger hail has fallen to the ground. So there you see the immediate roads around that 175th, 385th, east of Highway 81. As we move to the north, you can see Creston right in the path of this hail core right now. And we can keep an eye on it scan by scan, but it's going to intensify, it's going to weaken. It could weaken altogether, but even if it starts weakening a bit like it has in this last scan, that doesn't mean you're in the clear, Creston, because those trends can turn around extremely quickly with these storms, because often is the case, as long as they have the energy to deal with, to fuel themselves, they can drop those large hailstones, appear to weaken, and then sort of regenerate themselves as it produces more instability in the atmosphere. Again, now it looks like our counter is malfunctioning a little bit as it's lost all of our hail reports, so I apologize for that. We'll figure out what's going on with that. It's safe to say there's been at least a couple of dozen hail reports in Iowa and Nebraska this afternoon. We will see if we can get that fixed for you here shortly. All right, let's widen out again and show you what we're dealing with here. There you see the tornado warning that has exited our area in southwest Iowa continuing. So far, no confirmation of a tornado out that way. Chasers are keeping a very close eye on it. No signs of a touchdown right now, but they are showing some very evident signs of some very, very broad rotation and also just saw a good indicator of a hail core still with that one. Not a surprise, as that has been the primary threat all afternoon and evening so far. We also have, again, that considerable severe thunderstorm warning just issued north of Columbus, heading for the Creston area in Platte County. That is moving to the north at 25 miles per hour. There could be hail upwards of 1.5 to 1 3/4 inch, so approaching golf ball sized hail in that storm. The other severe thunderstorms well west of us seem to be sitting right where they are. They're not really making much progress to the north or the east. Now, we expect that to change as you see this line out in Colorado and Kansas, and a lot of wind reports coming from these storms. And I would suspect as they begin moving into Nebraska overnight, we're going to see that wind count. There you see the hail counter came back, so fortunately it corrected itself. But right now, just one wind report between Nebraska and Iowa combined. I expect that number to jump considerably as we move closer and closer to midnight, as we're going to transition from this tornado and primarily a hail threat across the area and begin transitioning to a strong damaging wind event across the area. This threat will be with us the rest of the night into the early morning hours. A severe thunderstorm watch you see there on your screen does remain in effect until 1 o'clock this morning for the counties shaded in yellow, and then a tornado watch remains in effect for portions of southwest Iowa until 11 o'clock. And if trends continue the way they could, we could see that tornado watch replaced with an overnight severe thunderstorm watch if storms are able to continue to strengthen to our west and kind of form a large sort of Boeing complex as they move through our area later tonight. So if you're in the metro area right now, we've largely avoided the showers and thunderstorms today. That's the good news. As you see, both east of us and west of us really taking a beating right now. Omaha has remained dry, but that can certainly change. There's a lot of boundaries out there that could spark off more thunderstorms at any moment. If we do avoid the thunderstorms for the next couple of hours, that's great, but we will still have to contend with the threat primarily of strong damaging winds as we move into the late evening, overnight hours, as this entire system kind of matures and evolves into more of a wind event than a tornado and hail producing event. Again, right now, the only tornado, we had 2 tornado reports near Gravity in southwest Iowa. May or may not have been the same tornado, but what we saw from chasers was a very brief touchdown that may have produced some damage. That will have to be determined later. But otherwise, all of the events in our area, with the exception of one, has been large hail, upwards of baseball sized in one case. 2 3/4 inch hail reported, I believe that was west of our viewing area. But again, the storm reports you see on the top of your screen, those are for all of Kansas and Nebraska in that counter, just to give you an idea of the scope of this that we're dealing with tonight. While we're talking about all this, I want to remind you that we're going to be dealing with this again on Sunday. This is the severe weather threat for tomorrow, and already a large area, an enhanced risk area that's shaded in orange there, could be a potential. Now, tomorrow, with the way things are setting up, there could be a stronger potential, especially in that enhanced area, for the development of tornadoes. And again, this could be a long duration situation where we see large hail, possible tornadoes, and then ultimately evolving into a strong damaging wind event. And then on Monday, that is what we're looking at for Monday right now. There you see basically Omaha and Lincoln and points east is the primary threat area. And again, especially because we're going to be on the beginning side of this severe weather event as opposed to the later side like tonight and tomorrow, there is going to be a potential for large hail and a few tornadoes possible on Monday as well. But all modes of severe weather tomorrow and Monday expected, much like today, with slightly elevated risk for tornadoes, especially on Sunday and Monday. So that's an update on what's to come, but right now we'll continue our focus on tonight. There you see all of the showers and thunderstorms basically east of Omaha and west of Omaha right now. And for the most part, we're staying dry and probably won't stay that way through the evening hours, but right now anyone's plans here in the metro area have been able to go off without a hitch. I can't guarantee it's going to stay that way tonight, but for now we are managing to avoid any of these severe thunderstorms in the metro area. So I think what we're going to do now is things are beginning to stabilize in our area. We have those warnings near Columbus and York that continue. Haven't received, I don't believe we've received any recent reports from those areas. We have not. So we're going to take a quick break here. I'm going to go ahead and leave the radar up for you to keep an eye on, and we will be back with you here in just a moment. Nick Weig back with you here on First Alert 6 streaming. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We do want to cut back in here because we do have another significant warning to tell you about. And we've been talking about all afternoon and evening that these storms have largely not been moving. And there you see it now at the bottom of your screen. We have a flash flood warning now in effect for portions of Montgomery County. This is where storm after storm after storm has developed over the same area. Another cell that we were talking about earlier has developed, producing some hail and heavy rain. And again, flash flood warning has been issued for the Villisca and Stanton area. This is a flash flood warning now in effect for portions of Montgomery County. We'll put the information here up on your screen until 10 o'clock tonight. So it will say 188 minutes. I didn't program hours into our ticker there, so I apologize. If you got to do the math there real quickly, that's 10 o'clock p.m. For the flash flood warning. At 6:49, Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between 2 and 4 inches of rain have already fallen, and up to an inch or more is possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Flash flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as other poor drainage areas and low-lying areas are expected. This does include the areas of Villisca, Stanton, Viking Lake State Park, and Hacklebarney Woods County Park. So if you know anybody in those areas, I'm assuming they're going to be getting this alert on their phones because flash flood warnings do trigger the EAS system. And a reminder that it doesn't take a lot of standing water to stall out a vehicle. So please, if you are in this area and you have to travel between now and 10 o'clock and you come upon some water on the roadway, you know the old adage, turn around, don't drown. Floodwaters are one of the leading killers in severe weather, and I know it doesn't sound as immediate as a tornado or massive hail, but flash flood warnings need to be taken very seriously. So if you live in this area or know someone in this area that has travel plans tonight, please be advised that if there's any standing water or running water over a roadway, you really need to just find another route or to cancel your plans. So a flash flood warning now in effect for portions of Montgomery County after several training storms there this afternoon and evening. That warning remains in effect until 10 o'clock this evening. We also do have some other updated warnings coming in that we want to get you some information on. So we'll back out the radar here. And we do have, there you see the tornado warning that has now moved out of our area. And just, I want to take a quick check of some of the chasers that are in that area. They are monitoring that rotation right now. There is a lowering, but no indication that a tornado is about to touch down in that area. That's the good news, at least. But again, this is just east of our viewing area. But for people that may know someone in the Mount Air area, or if you're joining us from Central Iowa on our social media channels, thanks for joining us. There is a rotating wall cloud in that area. It looks like right around County Road P27 is where that is. And several chasers are monitoring that. And right now we do see a rotating wall cloud, but no immediate report of a tornado on the ground. There also appears to be a very significant hail core in association with that storm around Mount Air. So if you know anybody in that area or you're joining us on the stream tonight, you need to seek shelter immediately in the Mount Air area, as there is a rotating wall cloud capable of producing a tornado at any moment. There are chasers monitoring that right now. But fortunately, right now, there's no indication that a tornado is on the ground at this time. Now let's recap some of the other warnings that we have going on in our area. We do have the considerable severe thunderstorm warning, again, for Decatur and Ringgold County. We have this severe thunderstorm warning in effect for about another 20 minutes for Ringgold and Taylor County. This is a general severe thunderstorm. We have another severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15 this evening for Adams and Taylor County. This one is for 1.5 inch diameter hail for that area. And let's switch over to the hail scans on this and get a quick look at it. And there you see the tornado, or the rotating storm, still has a very large hail core, and we're certainly seeing that in some of the chaser feeds, a very prominent hail core in and around that area of rotation. But again, unfortunately, no indication of a tornado right now. The Lenox area right now, that hail core is dissipated, but still some hail cores here around the Bedford area worth keeping an eye on. Let's go ahead and zoom out now and go back to some of our other warnings now that we've talked about that flash flood warning. Let's go back over to the other side of our viewing area where we're dealing with other storms. And there you see there's still some hail cores, that considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Platte County. That hail core has collapsed significantly. So somewhere along the lines, it likely dumped some large hail, hopefully not over any populated areas. Just checking with the National Weather Service. Looks like we're getting an update from the Storm Prediction Center, so I'm going to check that out very quickly here. I'll go ahead and switch back to the radar as we're taking a look at that, so you can see the general motion of the storms that we're dealing with tonight here. Okay. Okay, so the updated information from the Storm Prediction Center concerns southwest Iowa, it looks like. Severe storms continue to pose a threat for severe wind, hail, and a couple of tornadoes over at least the next few hours. Hail exceeding 2 inches in diameter remains possible. Multiple supercells with a history of more than 2-inch diameter hail continue to move along a almost stationary boundary over southern Iowa into northern Missouri. Essentially, the Storm Prediction Center saying there is plenty of energy that remains untapped in the atmosphere right now. And that supercells should continue to train through that area where we see those warnings in southwest Iowa. So essentially, the Storm Prediction Center says what's happening in southwest Iowa now is going to continue to be happening in that same area for at least the next 2 to 3 hours. So for folks in that area, be advised that the storms continue to cause problems over there. Now let's go look over on the western side of our area, and you see, let's go ahead and switch back to live first alert radar. You can see that considerable severe thunderstorm warning. That cell has weakened considerably as expected, so hopefully the hail threat is all but over in Platte County. We will see if the Weather Service decides to extend that. Also, the severe thunderstorm warnings to the south in the greater York area have now expired, and they have not been extended or continued. We do have additional severe thunderstorms just west of our viewing area, and we're going to be keeping an eye on these storms. Largely, it doesn't look like these storms are going to be moving into our area, but you notice these storms that have been sitting around the Kearney and North Platte areas now are beginning to move a little bit to the east now. They're getting a little motion in them. Just about 10 to 15 miles per hour. We do expect that to accelerate later tonight, and we do expect these storms to begin turning into more of a wind event. In fact, if we zoom the radar out, we're going to go to the wider view here, and if we look to our west and south, you can see that's exactly what's happening in northwest Kansas. The storms are actually moving quite quickly to the east now, and so the concern is as this line continues to race, we're going to see a second round of severe weather late tonight into tomorrow morning, with the primary threat being strong, damaging winds. Okay, here's another live look at First Alert Radar. I want to zoom in here a little bit. As you can see here in the metro area, not really seeing much, just some scattered showers, and certainly gotten a lot cloudier late this afternoon and evening. But so far, not really seeing anything in terms of major development out there. We do have these boundaries that are sparking off some showers in the area. But so far, no indication of any rapid thunderstorm development with these storms. So a bit of good news so far for the metro. But again, the potential still exists between now and 1 o'clock this morning as additional thunderstorms can and will develop. And then we also expect a line to move through later this evening as this entire complex begins transitioning from a primarily hail event over to a strong wind event. Again, the good news right now that the last warning in Platte in the western part of the First Alert 6 viewing area has expired. So right now, the only warning in effect for our areas in far southwest Iowa, where severe thunderstorms continue to train one after the other. We did have at least one brief tornado touchdown, possibly two in the Gravity area. But otherwise, this has primarily been a large hail event across our viewing area, and it will likely remain that way for some time with any storms that do develop. And then we will be on the lookout for this transitioning to a strong, damaging wind event as we move into the late night and early morning hours. I do see a comment from Mary over on YouTube. Why are you so slow about this? Others have been tracking this for days. Well, Mary, we were on live last night with the severe weather here. This is basically an extension of our coverage on air. And so if you have been watching us on air, you've been checking out our website or any of our live videos here on YouTube, we post live weather videos around the clock every day. We've been talking about the threat for severe weather for this 4-day stretch for almost a week now. And so, I apologize if you didn't see any of our coverage, but we have been alerting people on air and online for days about the potential threats. And now we are doing live extended coverage for our viewing area of the activity here. Because this is something that television stations don't offer on air, and we want to offer it to our viewers online. So we do have a 24/7 weather channel. You can access that on your Roku device. You can also watch us through the First Alert 6 smartphone app. You can get all the latest updates there. We do send out alerts when we're live streaming on our news app as well. And you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and several other outlets where we do these live streams when the weather warrants. But obviously, this is something that we're expanding to. But I'm sorry if you didn't see any of our coverage over the last several days. But I assure you, we've been letting our viewers know that that this potential was here, and now that it is, we're providing this service to our viewers here in our viewing area. So right now, we're kind of caught between two complexes of severe thunderstorms here in the Great Plains and Upper Midwest. Let's zoom out the radar a little bit here, and we're going to take this a little bit more to the south and west so you can get a better picture of what's happening. There you see we still have several clusters of severe thunderstorms, largely producing large hail in central Nebraska between North Platte and Grand Island. Some strong thunderstorms continue between Platte County down to I-80 near the York area. Those have now fallen below severe limits, but still have the possibility of producing at least some small hail. And then we do have one severe thunderstorm warning still in southwest Iowa, just on the fringe of our viewing area, as that complex finally begins to move off a little bit to the east. But flash flooding remains a concern in that area where they've seen strong to severe thunderstorms now for several hours. A flash flood warning in effect for portions of Montgomery County in southwest Iowa until 10 o'clock this evening. And the severe thunderstorm watch in the counties shaded in yellow continues until 1 o'clock this morning, as we do expect additional strong to severe thunderstorms to not only develop but move across our viewing area tonight. But as we get into these later hours, the primary threat is going to begin to transition from hail and isolated tornadoes to a strong, damaging wind event, as we could see some bowing structures of straight-line winds as we move into the late night and overnight hours across the states of Nebraska and Iowa. All right, we're going to go ahead and leave the radar up. We're going to take another quick break here, and as new information comes in, we will bring it to you. Right now, no new information from the National Weather Service. We have been keeping tabs on chasers, but they are now moving out of our area. They're going to stay with the tornado threat that has now largely exited our area, which is the good news. But we're still going to be dealing with a pretty long and stormy night across Nebraska and Iowa, so we will continue our coverage as the conditions warrant throughout the night. Nick Weig back with you here on First Alert 6 extended coverage of this severe weather outbreak. We do have a new warning in the fringe areas of our viewing area to tell you about. This cell has just popped up within the last 20 or 30 minutes near Beatrice, and now a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. Move this down here, and then we'll get you the information. This severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect until 8 o'clock this evening. This is for Gage, Jefferson, and Saline counties. This severe thunderstorm warning, again, will remain in effect until 8 o'clock. Now, this is just a general severe thunderstorm warning, so the primary threats are 1-inch diameter hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Gage, Jefferson, and Saline counties until 8 o'clock this evening as this new severe thunderstorm has developed. Let's go ahead and put this into motion for you on live First Alert radar, and you can see just within the last 20, 30 minutes, that cell has popped up rather quickly. Again, this is a situation where we're kind of in between radar beams here. So let's go ahead and throw this onto hail detection mode and see if we're seeing a hail core in this. I would not be surprised to see a small one in there. Yes, there is a small hail core in there. So this may be a bit of a preemptive severe thunderstorm warning because we've seen these storms really intensify very quickly after their initial development. And so obviously there is signs there, especially just west of Plymouth, of a developing hail core that people in that area need to be concerned about. Again, if I didn't say it earlier, I do apologize. This severe thunderstorm warning is moving off to the northeast at 20 miles per hour. So another relatively slow-moving storm here. And we're going to have to watch and see how this unfolds over the next few minutes and if any other additional development takes place. As we take a little bit of a wider view at the loop here, again, we are seeing indications of boundaries everywhere out there. And so wherever these boundaries interact, that's often where we'll see these areas of development. In fact, we're seeing another boundary moving southwest. And as it's moving, you're seeing additional thunderstorm development here in southwest Iowa off of those storms that did have a history of producing large hail and a brief tornado or two. And now we're seeing a massive flux of thunderstorms beginning to develop to the south. So for people in southern Iowa, northern Missouri, this is quickly beginning to turn into what could be a very heavy rain event. In fact, Montgomery County, just east of Red Oak, they're already under a flash flood warning until 10 o'clock this evening. There is another large complex of showers and thunderstorms that are making their way through Nebraska, through Colorado and Kansas tonight, and that is what we're going to be watching tonight for additional strong to severe thunderstorm development. We have seen extremely heavy and large hail falling in central Nebraska. In fact, there was a report from Buffalo County, Nebraska, of 3-inch diameter hail that shattered windows, undoubtedly caused structural damage to homes in that area. And that report said that the hail lasted for 30 minutes. So incredible hail falling in central Nebraska. Of course, that's nothing new for the area, but still really tough to deal with for people caught in the path of those massive hailstorms. We've also seen 2-inch hail reports in Red Oak, unfortunately, an area hit especially hard last night as well with damaging winds. We've also seen a couple of tornado touchdowns in the area of Gravity in southwest Iowa. No word on any significant damage from those tornadoes. And from some of the footage that we saw from some storm chasers in the area, those tornadoes appear to have been short-lived. April asking about Kearney. Why did the sirens go off in Kearney, Nebraska? Rotation or touchdown? Well, April, most areas I'm aware of, sirens don't necessarily mean that there's a tornado imminent or on the ground. So let's go ahead and zoom in on your area. I'm going to go back to First Alert Radar here, and we're going to got to get over to your area here. Do appreciate you joining us from all the way over there. Believe we're zooming on the right area. There we go. So we do have this considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Kearney. Now, you guys may be on the back edge of it, and maybe that's why you're a little confused. Generally, sirens nowadays are considered what they call outdoor warning sirens. And so when there's life-threatening weather, in the area. So in this case, a considerable severe thunderstorm warning would be for 70-mile-an-hour winds or upwards of 2-inch diameter hail. Those sirens will sound, and those sirens are supposed to tell people they need to get indoors immediately. So most areas don't treat their sirens anymore simply as tornado warning sirens. They're treated as outdoor warning sirens, and that's probably why you heard the sirens go off. Hopefully, even though Kearney is in this severe thunderstorm, hopefully it's already past your area, but that's why you heard the sirens there. We continue to see a whole trove of severe thunderstorm warnings in central Nebraska. These are the storms. It may not be these exact storms that move into our area later tonight, but we do expect more thunderstorms in our area. Again, as we zoom out and take a look at the wider view, we see this line taking shape out in northwestern Kansas, southwestern Nebraska. We're seeing these large thunderstorm warnings being issued. In fact, this one down in western Kansas, a very large thunderstorm warning. This is for not only large hail, but strong damaging winds. We do expect these storms to kind of pick up in forward motion later this evening as this likely begins to transition into more of a strong damaging wind event. But right now, the primary threat continues to be large hail in our vicinity. So far, the Omaha area has remained largely dry during this severe weather outbreak to our east and west, but we are seeing some new development along some of these boundaries out there. We do see some cells beginning to crop up near the Lincoln and Wahoo areas, and then this storm that has just popped up and showed up on the scene in the last half hour near Beatrice that has produced a severe thunderstorm warning. It didn't look like much when the warning was issued, but obviously because of the conditions out there, the Weather Service concerned that they can develop rapidly. And as we take a look at the hail detector, that hail core has been developing rapidly. Earlier, we didn't really see much here when the warning was issued, but now we're getting indications of hail aloft where the radar beam is penetrating this storm upwards of an inch in diameter or more. And so for people in the Plymouth area, Swanton, DeWitt, Pickrell, there is a potential wherever this hail core continues to development of some large damaging hail. So that severe thunderstorm warning continues for this area until I believe 8 o'clock this evening. 8 o'clock this evening. Severe thunderstorm warning continues until 8 o'clock. This is moving to the northeast at just 15 miles per hour. We did just get an update a few minutes ago that it was right over Plymouth or 14 miles northeast of Fairbury, moving to the northeast at 15 miles per hour. Trained weather spotters did confirm about 5 minutes ago quarter-sized hail was falling just west of Plymouth. So that would be that would be from this hail core you see right here, has already had a history of producing quarter size or 1-inch diameter hail. So that 1.2 inch hail estimate aloft certainly accurate, as we now have confirmation that 1-inch diameter hail has fallen in this area. So severe thunderstorm warning does continue for this area until 8 o'clock this evening, and this rapidly developing storm now has a history of producing large hail. Again, that 1-inch hail report coming in just west of Plymouth. So right here is the area of concern for large hail that could fall. Hopefully this will miss Swanton to the east, although it's certainly too close to comfort, so you need to seek shelter. DeWitt would be next in line for the storm, moving very slowly now at just 15 miles per hour. I do see we've had some other people ask about Kearney. We did just talk about that the sirens did go off. Those are outdoor warning sirens. They are not for tornadoes necessarily. So those sirens are to let people know they need to seek shelter. As we showed you just a few minutes ago, in the Kearney area, the storm has largely pushed just north of the area. Let's go ahead and switch over to First Alert Radar here, and we will show you what we're talking about. So there you see where Kearney is, and the storm is just to the north and largely staying to the north. However, when this thunderstorm warning was issued, then that is why those outdoor warning sirens went off for that area. Now, one thing I want to point out now that we're on the radar site out in central Nebraska is we've been talking about all these outflow boundaries that are sparking off these thunderstorms. Well, here's one of those boundaries right there that radar is picking up. And I'm going to throw this in motion, and you can see how quickly it's moving to the south. And as you look at this, look on the right-hand side of that boundary, and there you see another one. There's boundaries all over the place out there, to be perfectly honest. And so where these cells are interacting, that's where we're seeing additional development. And why I talk about that is if we zoom back in on the storm here just north of Kearney, you can see that outflow boundary on the southern edge. And where that boundary goes, you see you can see right here as the boundary moves, the storm develops right along it. And so that's why Gibbon right now seeing a very intense thunderstorm there, possibly some large hail falling with that. And so that is why we're so interested in those outflow boundaries, because that's essentially where the storms go. And if you look, you can see two of those boundaries interacting in that area, and that is where some of the newer thunderstorms have been touching off. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Undoubtedly, that's what happened here over by Beatrice, and we saw within 20 minutes go from just a cloud in the sky to a large hail-producing severe thunderstorm. We're also watching now a little closer to the metro area now, just north of Lincoln, and in the Wahoo area, we're seeing some cells getting going. That cell near Wahoo kind of fading out, but we'll keep an eye on this one north of Lincoln. It looks like it's pushing away at least from one boundary that we can see, so it may not be able to hold on to its intensity, but certainly does bear some watching. Overall, a lot of these storms are no longer warned because they have pulled away from the boundaries that they were riding on, and so they kind of lose that oomph that allows them to tap into the energy in the atmosphere. And so now they're just kind of turning into some general heavy rain-producing thunderstorms, which is something that is sorely needed around the area. We don't need more severe weather. We certainly need a whole lot of rain across Nebraska. No other reports from the National Weather Service or emergency management that we can see. But again, we are keeping tabs on all of our outlets here to make sure we're getting the latest updates. Well, we are getting some new information now from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. And this is going to be of interest for the First Alert 6 area because this does include this does not include our area, but it includes areas to our west. So basically everywhere south of the storms along I-80, essentially. So from York and Platte to Point South, I'm going to go ahead and zoom this out and show you what we're talking about. The Storm Prediction Center is drawing a new, what they call mesoscale discussion. And it's essentially, if I'm doing my drawing correctly here, it's essentially talking about this area, which is just outside of the First Alert 6 viewing area. But as you can see, this is the area where we haven't really seen any showers or thunderstorms yet today. So a lot of untapped energy out there right now. And ultimately, this could impact, as this could ultimately move into parts of our area, especially the southern half of our viewing area, very late tonight into tomorrow morning. So the Storm Prediction Center says that they are seeing the growing signs of a damaging wind event developing for this area, with gusts over 80 miles per hour possible later this evening. So we do expect there to be additional warnings in this area, and ultimately that could, very late tonight into tomorrow morning, impact some of our southern, more southern viewing area counties here in the area. Okay, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning to tell you about that's just been issued. A severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Butler County until 8:30 this evening. Again, this is for Butler County, impacting the areas of Garrison, David City, and Rising City. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect until 8:30 for this area. Primary threat is hail upwards of 1.5 inches in diameter. At 7:31, a severe thunderstorm was located 3 miles northwest of Rising City, or 11 miles west of David City, moving east at 10 miles per hour. Ping pong ball sized hail is possible with this storm. So let's go ahead and switch over to our hail tracker right now. And there you see that hail core. And if I rock the radar back here, you can see. No, I guess it's not going to rock back. But if we switch over to radar, I bet it will. There we go. You can see this is another one of those cells just kind of sitting on a boundary. And again, just kind of pulsing up right now, producing another hail core. And that is where it is right now. We'll take a quick peek inside, and right now, just at 1-inch diameter hail aloft. Could still, right now, some small hail could be falling. But with the history of these storms and the dynamics in the atmosphere right now, it's obvious that this could quickly produce large hail. And so the severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 8:30 this evening for Butler County. So again, if you're joining us in the Omaha metro area, we have avoided all of these thunderstorms so far, but we're not out of the woods yet, as there are boundaries galore out there that could spark off more thunderstorms. We have been watching this thunderstorm near Lincoln, but so far it hasn't really begun to get organized at all. It may just have been touched off by a boundary and left by itself. We have this severe thunderstorm warning down by Beatrice. This one is a little bit more interesting. I want to throw this in motion now, as this one popped up very quickly. And we're kind of seeing another pattern here of a northeasterly movement, but very slow. We did get a confirmation of quarter-sized hail just west of Plymouth. That was about 15 minutes, 15 minutes ago along Highway 4. And now we're seeing another cell popping up near Wilbur that we're going to have to keep an eye on as that continues to move to the northeast at about 25 miles per hour. All right, let's see if we can't get a camera up in that area. We do have a couple of cameras near that area, but I'm not sure if they are necessarily in working order right now. Looks like we're kind of stuck between either side of that storm, and right now the Nebraska Department of Transportation camera is not showing much right now, so we do have a camera available along Highway 15. I believe this is west of Wilbur. We'll try and get this up for you here. And so this is a live look west of Wilbur along Highway 15. You can see this is looking to the west, which is not the direction we want it to be looking, but you can see the darker clouds off to the south right now where that thunderstorm is approaching. So we'll have to keep an eye on this as a hail core could be moving towards this area over the next 30 minutes or so. So we'll certainly keep an eye on this camera as we move through the next 30 to 45 minutes in case anything does develop. This is just on the northern edge of the severe thunderstorm warning that is now in effect. We're going to see if we can pop up both of these for you here. Sure if this is going to work, but we'll give it a shot. Nope, it is not going to work. I do apologize for that. We'll give it one last shot here. Nope. Well, we'll check back in with that camera here in just a moment as that cell continues to move a little further to the north, and we're seeing what looks to be a secondary hail core beginning to form there. So we're certainly going to keep an eye on that as we move through this. Let's go ahead and move back now to First Alert Radar. We'll get in on the latest image here. As we're seeing some other cells with all those boundaries out there beginning to pop up. That larger boundary between Lincoln and Nebraska City touching off storms in southern Iowa. Not severe, but certainly capable of producing some heavy rain. And then we do still have our eastward moving storm near David City with a growing hail core in that one as well, capable of producing hail of about 1 inch in diameter. Let's go back down to Gage, Jefferson, and Saline County now for that warning, as we're seeing some stronger returns approaching the Wilbur area. And that is the hail core of concern, essentially, right now that we're going to be keeping an eye out on, as it appears to continue to be growing in size, now up to 1.3-inch diameter hail detected. This storm does have a history of producing 1-inch diameter hail, and so we're going to keep an eye on this as it begins to move further into the First Alert 6 viewing area. At 8 o'clock, we also expect to get an update from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma on tonight's threats, so we'll be looking out for that. Again, while we have a brief minute here, just to recap, we'll zoom out here and take a look at the wider radar. There you see what we're dealing with tonight, and as we switch over to the national mosaic there, you can see all of the thunderstorms surrounding the Omaha metro area to the west and the southeast. We are still under a severe thunderstorm watch until 1 o'clock this morning. Thunderstorms could develop at any time tonight, but we're also expecting a round of showers and thunderstorms to move through very late tonight into tomorrow morning that we're also going to have to keep an eye out for. There's those watches in effect for our area. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 1 a.m. in the county shaded in yellow, and a tornado watch in effect until 11 p.m. for the county shaded in red. For most of the counties in the tornado watch in our area, that tornado threat is beginning to subside. And the primary threat for any thunderstorms is going to be heavy rain and strong damaging winds. Just to keep you advised on what to expect in the days ahead, here's a look at the severe weather risk for tomorrow. And this looks like, with the exception of affecting more of our northern counties, this looks like a bit of a repeat of tonight. For our area, we do expect this to be a evening and into overnight event. And then moving into the day on Monday, this would probably be one of the greater threats for tornadic activity in our area mid to late afternoon on Monday. And we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued for Fremont County. This includes Hamburg and Riverton. Fremont County, severe thunderstorm warning until 8:45 p.m. This is in association with the thunderstorms that are firing off along an outflow boundary in southwest Iowa and northwest Missouri. There you see the motion of those. And you can see just a whole mess of storms. And this one, just southeast of Nebraska City, is the one exhibiting signs of producing a hail core in there. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Fremont County in southwest Iowa until 8:45. $half sized hail is the main threat from this storm. All right, back now to First Alert Radar here. We're going to go ahead and zoom out to the rest of the area here in western Iowa and eastern Nebraska. There you see our severe thunderstorm warnings now over the Wilbur area, as well as the over by southeast of Columbus, where we have those severe thunderstorms right now. We're continuing to monitor a camera down by Wilbur, a little west of Wilbur. Looks like we have an update now on the Butler County severe thunderstorm. You see that at the bottom of your screen. That has now been upgraded. to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. That's why you see it a little bolder now. So let's zoom in on that. We are getting no real signs of rotation, but there is that hail core that is becoming a problem. And let's see if we've got any new information on this. We'll check with the National Weather Service and see if they got any info that caused them to update this. Not seeing anything from the Weather Service at this time. Right now, they basically, yeah, they've increased the risk to golf ball-sized hail, and that risk necessitates upgrading the severe thunderstorm warning to a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like our camera in the Wilbur area is moving around, so we wanted to go ahead and take that here just for a second and get an update on the situation out there. Now at 7:45 in the evening here. There you see the storm clouds building to the south. I believe this camera is looking to the west. This camera is a little bit west of Wilbur from the Nebraska Department of Transportation, and there is an approaching hail core to that area. We're going to go ahead and take another look at that here. This is a severe thunderstorm warned storm, and now getting increasing signs of trouble for that area. We do have a new considerable severe thunderstorm warning. You see it there on the bottom of your screen. This has just been issued. A considerable severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Gage, Jefferson, Lancaster, Saline. This includes the DeWitt, Hallam, and Wilbur areas. Severe thunderstorm warning for considerable sized hail, golf ball sized hail possible. And that is the area that we're keeping an eye on with this camera. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect, a considerable severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. I'm gonna try and get this split screen for you so we can get both of these on the screen. If you just bear with me here for a moment, I'm gonna try and get that set up here. Okay, let's see if we can get this to work now. Apologies for doing this crude work here on the screen for you, but just trying to get something set up so we can show you what's going on in a split screen. And we just lost the signal. So we'll go ahead and go back to live first alert radar here for you. And there you see that hail core heading right for the Wilbur area with that considerable severe thunderstorm warning, trying to get the computer to cooperate with us here a little bit, and just doesn't want to do it. So I do apologize for that, but we'll keep working on that because we do have a camera in that area, and we'd like to keep tabs on it as long as possible as the storm system continues to move through that area. So we will try and get that camera back up for you here as soon as we can. Okay, we might be making some progress here, so let's try this again. We're going to go ahead and try and split screen this for you. And it still didn't want to cooperate, but close enough. That'll work for us. So this is a live look at a camera just west of Wilbur, and you can see some of the clouds approaching to the south. This is where a considerable severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect. We also have another considerable severe thunderstorm for another major hail core that is making its way towards the DeWitt area. Let's go ahead and put a tracker on that and see what we're dealing with in there. And now we're getting a hail over 2 inches in diameter on that. We're also getting hail upwards of 2 inches in diameter on the hail core that's approaching this area in and around Wilbur that you see on your screen right now. So again, considerable severe thunderstorm warnings now in effect for two very potent hail cores in this area. So we're going to keep an eye on this image you see here as I'm going to slide that down just a little bit so it's a little easier to see. So we're going to keep an eye on this as long as this camera is up and running. Can't promise that it's going to stay that way, but that is where we're seeing some concerning developments on the camera here and on radar as well. So we're going to keep an eye on this area for you. We're going to go ahead and zoom out here real quickly and check on some of our other warned areas tonight. We do have a small threat for hail southeast of Nebraska City and southwest Iowa. We still have a developing hail core here southeast of Columbus with a considerable severe thunderstorm warned cell heading toward David City. And then as we zoom back out and zoom back in, we'll show you the area of concern here as well, just northwest of Beatrice, heading for Wilbur and DeWitt, two significant hail cores that have now formed that we are keeping a very close eye on here. So we're going to try and keep this on the screen for you, and you can see the storm. This is a live camera west of Wilbur, looking to the west along Highway 15, and we're going to be keeping an eye on this as this storm continues to move in. The hail core may be, unfortunately, on the other side of this camera. Unfortunately, we can't move the camera as it's not ours, but you can see some of those approaching storm clouds there as this considerable severe thunderstorm warned storm continues to push to the north at about 25 miles per hour. There you see the considerable severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Gage, Jefferson, and Saline counties. That is set to expire here in 4 minutes. It has actually already been replaced by a new considerable severe thunderstorm warning that will continue until, I believe, 8:30 this evening. So again, this is a thunderstorm complex that's developed just within the last hour and has rapidly developed these rather intense hail cores. And there you see the one approaching DeWitt has collapsed. The one that has passed over Wilbur has also weakened somewhat. Unfortunately, that's usually an indicator that they have dropped some significant hail. Hopefully not over a populated area. We have not seen anything on the camera that we're monitoring here from the Nebraska Department of Transportation, but I think that's because the hail core passed to the east of this camera, and we are unfortunately looking in the opposite direction. These are traffic cameras. We can't control them, but they do at least give us some chance of seeing what's happening inside these storms. But again, it looks like the hail core has passed on the other side of this camera, and so not able to get a confirmation from this image, at least, of what exactly has happened in that area. All right, let's go back now, full lead here to First Alert radar, and we're going to switch over to preset mode here again. There you see those two significant hail cores passing over Wilbur and DeWitt, triggering those considerable severe thunderstorm warnings. We are also monitoring for an update on tonight from the Storm Prediction Center. And just checking back in to see if we have any other updated information. Let that scan come through here. Looking back up here again, there you see the cell south of Wahoo that has not really gained in intensity at all over the last hour, but it is approaching the west side of the metro area, so could see some showers and thunderstorms here as we approach sunset. We still have our severe thunderstorm warning near the David City area, a considerable severe thunderstorm warning there for the potential of ping-pong-sized hail. Same goes, we may have seen some hail fall in the Wilbur and DeWitt areas here. Seeing on these new scans some pretty intense returns on both of these cells, but the latest hail scans look like they have picked up in intensity once again. The DeWitt cell still holding it just over 2 inches. The Wilbur cell significantly higher now, so very concerning for the greater Wilbur area. We really need to zoom in on that. And there you see that heavy core. Some large hail may have just fallen in the Wilbur area and to the northwest. So highways 41 likely saw some of this. Anyone driving north of Wilbur on Highway 103, this is a very significant, although compact hail core. And so some very dangerously large hail could be falling as radar is detecting some very large stones up in the atmosphere that could be coming down. Fortunately, not a very populated area, and we hope it stays that way. But anybody traveling in this area needs to be advised that there is a very significant hail core with this severe thunderstorm. As we go ahead and put these into motion, you can see the overall track has been just about due north. You kind of see them pulse up with that white color there for a frame. That is probably when they hit their peak intensity, and now we're seeing some of that hail probably falling to the ground. Some additional development to the south and west. We do have other severe thunderstorm warnings now tracking north out of Kansas that we'll be keeping an eye on as well. So if you're in an area of our viewing area that hasn't seen any thunderstorms yet and say, well, I guess we're just going to miss out on this round, that's not necessarily the case, as we're seeing new lines of showers and thunderstorms develop capable of producing some pretty large hail. And we do have the threat of additional showers and thunderstorms moving through later this evening. The later it gets, the greater the threat will shift from large hail to strong damaging winds. An isolated tornado cannot be ruled out, but we don't expect any widespread threat for tornadoes this evening. We'll take a look at the wider view now. And there you see those new cells beginning to develop down in this area that's very primed for new severe thunderstorms. And so we're going to have to continue to watch this as it gets closer to the Lincoln area and portions of our viewing area as well. But certainly not out of the woods. That's why this watch was placed in effect until 1 o'clock this morning, or this coming morning. And we're going to continue to keep an eye on this throughout the evening. Not seeing any new reports from the National Weather Service. We're up to 9 wind reports in Iowa and Nebraska, the 2 tornado reports near Gravity in southwest Iowa, and 37 hail reports, the biggest of which were in central Nebraska. Hail upwards of 3 inches in diameter falling in Buffalo County this afternoon and evening. So very significant reports coming in across the state of Iowa and Nebraska, excuse me. We have not gotten an update on tonight's threat from the Storm Prediction Center, but based on everything happening right now, I don't expect much of a change as the severe threat does continue across the entire watch area and is likely to do so for at least the next 5 hours, if not longer. Again, I want to thank everyone, excuse me, that's joining us on our streaming channels, on our website, firstalert6.com, as well as on our Facebook and YouTube pages. I also want to thank everyone who's joining us on Chief Meteorologist Matt Surwey and Rusty Lord's pages as well this evening as we continue to track strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. The Omaha metro area has been spared the severe weather so far, but we are not out of the woods just yet. As this large complex of showers and thunderstorms throughout the upper Midwest and Great Plains continues to trek through the area at this hour. And you can see the scope of this. Tornado watch continuing for our southwestern Iowa counties until 11 o'clock tonight. The rest of our counties south of Norfolk, severe thunderstorm watch until 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. So a very long duration severe weather outbreak we're dealing with tonight. We could see another one tomorrow night and then another one Monday afternoon. And that one on Monday could carry a more significant threat for tornadic development. So a very busy extended weekend of severe weather for us here in Nebraska and Iowa and the surrounding area as the severe thunderstorms continue across the area. I want to give you a quick live look outside here in downtown Omaha. This is a live look from First National looking off to the south and west, just giving you an idea of some of the darker clouds we've been seeing, even though we're looking at the side towards the setting sun. And just a reminder that there are some showers and thunderstorms in the greater area, but none have really been impacting the metro so far, outside of a few brief showers or sprinkles. But again, that luck probably will not hold for the rest of the night as the threat for severe weather continues for the rest of the evening and into the overnight hours tonight. All right. Back now to the regional radar, and we're going to go back to live first alert radar here for an update. We do have some thunderstorms beginning to develop, or have developed, south of Wahoo, moving towards the Elkhorn area and the western side of the metro. These are not severe. They have not shown any indication that they're going to become severe, but just a heads up that there is some precipitation beginning to actually approach the metro area. We do still have the considerable severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for portions of Butler County until 8:30 tonight. It is 8 o'clock, excuse me. Severe thunderstorm at last report was moving to the east at 10 miles per hour. It is capable of producing some very large hail up to the size of ping pong balls. And then we also have another considerable severe thunderstorm warning. It's been downgraded, which it may have been. Yes, it has been downgraded. So this is a general severe thunderstorm warning now, as the concern for very large hail has eased off somewhat, but still the potential for damaging hail continues in this area. So far, no official reports of hail falling in this area, but right now the primary areas of concern are in the DeWitt, north of DeWitt and Wilbur right now. Crete next in line for a hail-producing storm. So anybody in that area needs to be seeking shelter immediately, as this storm has the capability of producing some rather large hail. Those are the two warnings now in effect for our viewing area. We do have also a small severe thunderstorm warning in Fremont County in far southwest Iowa. No reports of actual hail from that. We have a mess of showers and thunderstorms heading for the northern part of our area. None of those are severe at this time. And then a whole bunch of severe thunderstorms, not only in central Nebraska, but now some that have developed near Beatrice and Wilbur, as we've been talking about, and more south of it that are beginning to move to the northeast, but still moving very slow, about 20 or 25 miles per hour. That's where things stand right now. We're going to continue to monitor this. We'll have to see if the National Weather Service decides to issue a new warning for this cell now exiting the Wilbur area and exiting the warned area. This is approaching the greater Lincoln area, so we're going to continue to keep an eye on this and see if we can get an update here in just a few minutes from the National Weather Service. And it appears the National Weather Service has given us their answer to that question. And a new severe thunderstorm warning has now been issued for portions of Lancaster, Seward, and Saline counties until 9 o'clock this evening. This is a general severe thunderstorm warning, the primary threat being isolated wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour and the threat of 1.5-inch diameter hail. So severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for areas including Crete, Dorchester, Milford, and Seward until 9 o'clock this evening. This storm that had been moving to the northeast at about 20-25 miles per hour, now moving to the north at 35 miles per hour. Good news for if you are joining us or have family or friends in the Lincoln metro area. Bad news if you happen to be in the Milford or Seward areas. We're just beginning to pick up some lightning here in the Omaha metro area. That is with a non-severe thunderstorms that is approaching the metro area and could impact the surrounding Elkhorn area within the next 30 minutes or so. But right now, the new severe thunderstorm warning for Lancaster, Saline, and Seward counties until 9 o'clock this evening. We're going to work and see as this gets a little closer to the Interstate 80 corridor. We'll see if we have any cameras in the vicinity, but let's zoom out here, and you can see everything we're dealing with tonight as essentially the southern portion of Nebraska has been surrounded by severe thunderstorms all day. Now we have some new severe thunderstorms beginning to develop south of Lincoln, but they are now beginning to shift to the north. We do have some other strong thunderstorms moving in from Kansas we'll keep an eye on here over the next hour or so. But for right now, let's go back to live First Alert radar. We'll keep a wide view on this here for you and keep tabs on all of this. And we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will go around the horn here and get an update on all of the severe weather in our area. You're watching First Alert 6. And Nick White here with you. We do have a tornado warning that has now been issued. A tornado warning that has been issued just north of Beatrice. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this area for you here. This is a tornado warning that has just been issued. This is going to impact the Pickrell area of Gage County, just north of Beatrice. Tornado warning until 8:45 this evening. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 5 miles southeast of DeWitt or 8 miles northwest of Beatrice, moving east at 15 miles per hour. So a tornado warning now coming in for western Gage County. The National Weather Service telling us that the rotation was detected right at that Tri-County intersection there. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and switch over to velocity, and there you see the rotation pretty clear there on the velocity scans. And let's go ahead and highlight that for you here. It's right there. Oop. That is the wrong tool. I apologize. So we're going to zoom in a little tighter on this so you can see the area under the immediate risk where this rotation is, right there between Hogue and DeWitt, heading for the Pickrell area. That is some pretty tight circulation that we're seeing right there, so pretty concerning. If we sweep over to our debris detector, that is a bit of a troubling sign there. I assume this scan is a little bit behind, but this could be an indicator of debris that was kicked up into the air. So this is right now just a radar indication of a tornado, but some concerning signs here on what we call the correlation coefficient or debris detector. And as we switch back over, to velocity, and we lost our scan here for some reason. But there is clear rotation in there. On the previous scan, it did look somewhat tight. But again, we're right in between these two scans. We'll get to this thunderstorm warning real quick for you, and then we got to get back to this. Severe thunderstorm warning now in effect in northeastern Nebraska for Madison, Wayne, Pierce, and Stanton County until 9 o'clock. 1-inch diameter hail is possible with this storm. We'll go ahead and zoom out very quickly so you can get an idea. This is just north of Norfolk. So this is outside of the watch area, but there is a chance of some hail that could approach severe limits of 1 inch in diameter. Right now, though, we need to get down to this tornado-warned storm north of Beatrice because there's some very concerning signs on radar here. This is a radar-indicated tornado. No other updates yet from the National Weather Service at this time, but there are some indications on radar that are cause for concern. There we see that what looks like pretty tight circulation. Again, this is looking a pretty decent distance away from the radar, but that is a concerning sign. And then also as we switch over, if this is a slightly more dated scan, and I'm going to have to look at the information here from the radar. Okay. So it looks like that scan is up to date. So I'm hopeful that perhaps this is maybe a bit of an odd anomaly, but the fact that we're getting that little area of blue so close to the area of circulation is a little bit concerning that there may have been some debris kicked up. But again, right now, this is just radar indicated. They are not confirming a tornado, at least right now, based on that scan. So that could just be an anomaly, but that's something that we watch out for on the debris detector. But right now, a little bit more hard to see there. This is a long distance from the radar, but certainly getting some indications here of some pretty tight rotation. Doesn't look as organized as it did just a scan or two ago. So hopefully, if there was a tornado, that this may have been a brief spin up. There has not been a confirmation that the tornado actually did touch down. But again, we did see some pretty concerning signs here on the velocity scans a short time ago. Let's see. Here's what we can do. I'm going to take this back if we can. So if we take a look at this, you can see that is all of a sudden what triggered the warning. This, all of a sudden, some pretty tight rotation that was lost in the scan. If we switch over to the debris detector, There is an indication there. I'm a little concerned about that. That we've got this signature right here so close to a sudden area of rotation. This could be an indicator of some debris being kicked up into the air. It's not a certainty quite yet. The Weather Service right now saying that this is just radar indicated, so they are not suggesting that this signature here indicates that there was a tornado or is a tornado on the ground. But just looking at that scan, just have some questions about that. Again, the rotation doesn't look as strong as it did a couple of scans ago, but we are some distance away from the radar, and that certainly looked like a troubling scan there. Enough with the parameters in place and the conditions and the environment that these storms are in southern Nebraska that left the National Weather Service to fire off this tornado warning. So again, tornado warning continues for the Hogue, DeWitt, Pickrell area right now. There is rotation in the area. We're not sure if we're getting any updates here. No, this is separate. Lincoln Lancaster County EMA reporting pea-sized hail in Denton. Pea-sized hail in Denton has just occurred. But right now, our attention is on this storm just to the north of Beatrice. This is a tornado warning. It is a radar-indicated tornado warning for rotation that may develop a tornado or may be producing a tornado near DeWitt, moving east at 15 miles per hour. This is a pretty significant distance from the radar, so the velocity scans are a little bit muddled. But if we take this back a little bit, you could see what triggered the concern, that right there. And at the same time, in that general vicinity, we were getting a look at what appeared to be potentially some kind of indicator that there could have been some debris kicked up into the air. So some concerns with that. Now on the latest scans, we're still seeing that tight rotation there. This is the latest scan just coming in. And right here is the area of concern. There you see southeast of DeWitt, moving to the east at about 15 miles per hour in Gage County. There you see where Pickrell is, where Hogue is, Highway 77. This is the area of concern. Again, there's some faint signatures we're seeing of what could be indications of rotation and possibly debris on the ground. Or debris that was kicked up into the air. It's really inconclusive from this distance, but as we look at these updated scans, there you see what we call the gate-to-gate, where those reds and greens come together. Greens being winds moving towards the radar, reds being winds moving away from the radar. And that is what has sparked this concern from the National Weather Service. And this is the general direction of those winds that we're watching. So it looks like we may have just lost our scan, actually. There it comes back. As you can see by these purples, this is really on the fringe of the Omaha radar site, and so that's why we're kind of seeing those velocity scans kind of bounce back and forth a little bit. Not seeing as much defined on debris detection right now. Hopefully that's a good sign. We have not gotten confirmation from the National Weather Service that there was in fact a tornado in this area. But there you can see the area of concern that we've been watching here for the last few minutes as a possible tornado may have touched down. Again, this is not a confirmation. This is a radar-indicated tornado warning, but there were some pretty concerning signatures on the radar that the National Weather Service took notice of. Obviously, we took notice of as well. And now we're just keeping a very, very close eye on this area. We are checking to see if there's any cameras in that area. There's none, I believe, in the immediate area, but we're checking to see if any of those in the distance can make anything out. There is a camera near Cortland, but not really picking anything up on that. Again, we are keeping a close eye on this area to see if we can detect anything else. The radar scan's still showing a pretty solid detection of rotation. I'm not getting any more debris signatures in that area. That's the good news. But again, a pretty clear sign of rotation in that area on the northwest side of this warning. This does continue to, the warning was for an easterly motion. It looks like it may be moving more north, northeast, a little closer to DeWitt. So DeWitt, I know you're not in this tornado warning, but it would be a good idea to seek shelter as this storm is approaching your area right now. So we're going to stick with this right now because this is a bit of a concerning signature that we're seeing. And as we zoom, we're going to zoom out here and give you a better idea of where this is. There you see the thunderstorm warnings tracking north, this tornado warning tracking east. There you see where Wilbur, Crete, Hickman, and then just north of there, there's Lincoln. And then we are basically due south on Highway 77 right now. We are checking some cameras in that area. We're not seeing much right now other than some flashes of lightning. Again, this is for Gage County. We zoom in here. There you see Clatonia and Cortland. North of this rotation, it looking a little broader now. That's hopefully a good sign. Working to get some more information here if we can. Okay, what you're seeing at the top of the screen, this, no, that graphic's not right. I did not update it yet. I apologize. I believe this camera is near Cortland. And this is a decent distance north of that rotation that we're concerned about, but it is in the vicinity of this severe and tornado-warned storm. So we wanted to pull this up and get a better look at what may be going on. This is along Highway 77 in Cortland. So again, this is a decent distance away from that area that we're concerned about, but wanted to keep an eye in the general area. As this rotation looks like it may be recycling a little bit and tightening up a little more. Not getting any immediate indications of any debris now in the air, but again, it's right now on that northern edge. We're waiting to see if we're getting any updates from the National Weather Service. The Weather Service giving us an update on the severe thunderstorm in Butler County, saying that it is weakening, but a new supercell organizing in the southeast part of the county. Hail is still the primary threat. Let's go ahead and head up to Butler County and take a look at that. And we'll switch over to live first alert radar. And there you see this new line, kind of north to south line that is developed. And this is the cell. Oops, wrong one there. There we go. This is the cell the National Weather Service is talking about that is weakening, but this new supercell now beginning to take shape. So that severe thunderstorm warning does continue for Butler County. We have this northern tracking storm now approaching Interstate 80 west of Lincoln that could produce large hail. We have our severe thunderstorm, or considerable severe thunderstorm warned storm here for golf ball sized hail. And then inside of that, we now have this concern for what could be a little bit of a hook signature here and a lot of rotation now showing up on radar that could be a sign that there is a developing tornado between DeWitt and Hogue in southern Nebraska. The live picture we are showing you right now, that is from Cortland, which is a little bit north of where this tornado warning is, but we wanted to keep an eye on this camera just because this is, the rotation seems to be moving a bit to the north. I'm going to try and pan this down a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see there. And get just a tiny bit of the sky there in that shot. There we go. So we're keeping an eye on this camera. This is not in the tornado warning at this time, but this is part of that severe thunderstorm that is likely producing some large hail near this area. You can see the vivid lightning on the Nebraska Department of Transportation camera right now. See if we're getting some new information from the National Weather Service here. Yes, they are seeing the rotation intensifying here near Pickrell. If you know anybody in the Pickrell area, you know anybody traveling along Highway 77 in that area, you need to reach out. They need to be finding a safe place right now. There is a rapidly intensifying thunderstorm headed that way that is producing some significant rotation. The camera you see on your screen is from Cortland. This is north of the tornado warning, but there is a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for that area. And you can see a lot of vivid lightning there and likely some gusty winds, and there could be some small hail following there right now. But a very intense thunderstorm now in that area. Lincoln-Lancaster County EMA reporting there was hail earlier in Crete. Now at this time, no hail, just moderate rain. The Weather Service was asking for any reports on that storm. But again, right now the concern is with this thunderstorm. We do have some new warnings that are coming into the area, so we're going to go ahead and zoom out here real quickly for a moment. And we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has moved into southwestern Nebraska, just outside of our viewing area. Just bring that to your attention as these are strong storms. One of them reportedly capable of producing a tornado in Kansas. Also capable of producing baseball-sized hail that is now moving out of Kansas into the Fairbury area in southern Nebraska. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on that as that storm continues to push to the north. We now have this considerable severe thunderstorm warning that is now in effect for Gage County until 9:15, and inside of that, just north of Beatrice, a tornado warning remains in effect until 8:45 for northwestern Gage County. The severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was 4 miles southeast of DeWitt or 7 miles northeast of Beatrice, moving east at 10 miles per hour. This storm also has the capability of producing 2-inch diameter hail. Getting another update from the National Weather Service here. I'm going to have to read through this a little bit. For the Omaha Metro and areas to the south, the area continues to produce thunderstorms capable of producing large hail. Any of these storms could split off, with one moving east-southeast, one moving north. The main concern right now continues to be large hail, damaging winds, and localized flash flooding. There is now a concern areas south and west of where this tornado-warned storm is, north of Beatrice, of the potential for some brief tornadic activity and also very large hail. Another thing just coming in right now, quarter-sized hail has been reported in Pleasantdale, that from Lincoln Lancaster County EMA. Quarter-sized hail reported in Pleasantdale. But again, right now we're kind of focused in on this tornado-warned storm. That live picture you see from the Nebraska Department of Transportation, that's from Cortland. Cortland is in the considerable severe thunderstorm warning just north of the tornado-warned area. So right now we are continuing to monitor this developing situation as more showers and thunderstorms are beginning to develop in parts of the area that have remained dry so far, and there's a lot of untapped energy out there. This is why that severe thunderstorm watch continues until 1 o'clock in the morning as these strong to severe thunderstorms continue to push through the area and are now beginning to impact areas surrounding Lincoln and beginning to get closer to the Wahoo and Fremont areas. Strong to severe thunderstorms remain a threat. Again, as you're looking at it live at the Cortland Highway 77 DOT cam, a lot of lightning on that camera right now, just north of the tornado-warned area. This area, it remains at risk for some very large hail, as a considerable severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for that area until, I believe, 9 o'clock this evening. Now, the tornado warning is scheduled to expire here in just about 8 minutes, or 7 minutes, as you see there on the bottom of your screen. And we'll probably be getting an update from the National Weather Service. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest velocity scans in that area. And there you see still a very tight rotation, not getting any indications of debris, so hopefully that's a sign that there is not a tornado being produced by this significantly tight rotation here, just west of Pickrell. We've been telling people along Highway 77 in the Pickrell area, you need to seek shelter right now. This storm is very gradually moving your way at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. But don't let that fool you. It can change speed and direction at any time. So if you're anywhere near this rotation, you need to seek shelter immediately. This is a tornado-warned storm. I do apologize. Our scans do kind of bounce on and off from time to time here, so we'll get that back. There you see a wider view of that intense storm moving through the area right now. As soon as we get these scans back, there we go. You can see the area of rotation of greatest concern right now. Did just get a report a few minutes ago of ping pong ball sized hail in Crete now. So I believe that's about 1.5 inches in diameter. Ping pong ball sized hail falling in Crete. Again, here's a look at that DOT camera near Cortland on Highway 77. Just absolutely incredible lightning as this thunderstorm moves through. Still a threat of large hail in this area. This is just north of the portion of the storm that is tornado warned at this time. There you see the area of rotation we've been keeping an eye on. The tornado warning now scheduled to expire in about 5 minutes as we continue to track the potential of a developing tornado in this area. Between Hogue and Pickrell, moving very slowly at about 10 miles an hour. And then just north of this tornado warning, where there does still remain a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, there you see that live picture from Highway 77 of an intense thunderstorm with vivid lightning, heavy rain, and the potential for some large hail in this area. As you can see on the upper left portion of your screen, the damage and severe weather reports continue to pour in. These are all of the reports statewide for for Nebraska and Iowa. 2 brief tornado reports in Iowa earlier this evening. Now up to 45 hail reports and 11 wind reports between the 2 states right now, as we continue to monitor the very latest. Getting National Weather Service in Omaha now discussing issuing a flood watch for the overnight hours along and south of the Platte River. This is where the heaviest rain has been falling. They're also monitoring specific areas for the potential of a flash flood warning. As we talked about, we do have a flash flood warning in effect for portions of Montgomery County and southwest Iowa until 10 o'clock tonight. But again, with more heavy rain falling in more parts of the state of Nebraska, the National Weather Service is preparing a flood watch for areas along and south of the Platte River, and also keeping an eye out for the potential of any flash flood warnings. As we look at the tornado warned area here now, as we're just about 3 minutes away from that warning expiring, we do see in the latest scans that rotation has weakened and broadened out quite a bit. So some good news there. Hopefully that trend continues, but of course we'll be watching it very carefully. We're also watching, there you see a pretty significant hail core out in front of it, capable of producing hail in the clouds of about 1.3 inches. So could be some large hail that's fallen along Highway 77, likely south of where this live camera on your screen is right now. But something for people traveling along Highway 77 between Beatrice and Pickrell to be advised of, that there may have been some hail in that area. That hail core continues to slowly drift to the east at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Let's switch back over the radar and let's take a wider view here while we have a chance. There you see all of the warnings in effect for our area now, focusing in on our Nebraska counties. West of Lincoln, several severe thunderstorms now in effect. Severe thunderstorm warnings now in effect from between Wahoo and David City, and then all the way down towards Wilbur, Beatrice, and down to the Nebraska-Kansas border, where a tornado warned storm may be approaching the Fairbury area, which is currently under a severe thunderstorm warning for another cell passing through that area right now. We do have additional showers and thunderstorms still developing around Rockport and Nebraska City. These have remained below severe limits so far. But again, a lot of heavy rain falling in many of these areas, which has prompted at least one flash flood warning. We could see additional flash flood warnings issued south of the Platte River tonight. The National Weather Service in Omaha advising, giving us a heads up on that as we continue to move through the evening hours. Kirsten over on Facebook asking about Lincoln for the tornado warning. The tornado warning is not moving towards Lincoln, Kirsten, and so far there's been no reported tornado that has developed, just some concerning rotation. There is the potential for an isolated tornado tonight. We've seen a couple over in southwest Iowa, but again, the primary threat for the next 2 to 3 hours is going to be large hail. We have seen, as you can see in the upper left portion of your screen, 4 dozen reports now of large hail in Iowa and Nebraska from this storm today, and that continues. As we move into the later hours, if these storms maintain their intensity, we should see this begin to transition from a large hail threat primarily to a strong damaging wind threat for wind gusts of anywhere between 60 and 80 miles per hour. So again, right now, you see the warnings on your screen. What's a little bit confusing about this is that there's a line of showers and thunderstorms. But we have some storms that are moving to the east, like down here in the Beatrice and Pickrell area. We have other storms down here entering Nebraska that are moving to the northeast. We have other storms in the Lincoln area that are moving almost due north. So because of all of these boundaries in the area and all of this energy, we have storms very close together that are moving in completely different directions right now. And so that's kind of complicated things. And many of these storms, especially those that are moving easterly, are moving very slow. For much of the afternoon and evening, many of these storms were stationary and now are moving at maybe 10 or 15 miles per hour. We do expect that motion to begin to accelerate later, the later we get into tonight, as this does begin to transition into a damaging wind event. It looks like our radar wants to redraw itself. There it goes as decides to put all the precip back on the screen. Fortunately, the